Good evening, everybody. Hi. Welcome. It's me, Ray, otherwise known as Life and Vibe, or Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray. Oh, it's me. Hi. Sorry, I was muted. Goodness me. Guys. Oh my goodness, I unplugged myself and all sorts of stuff. No audio. That was oh, it shows I haven't been live in a while. Hey Chico, how are you?
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How about with yourself? How are you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful. You knew I was gonna have to drag you kicking and screaming back into girl world.
Yes, literally. Tell everybody what you had to do.
well, watching it and all the misinformation and just Chantal's whole diet and eating, it just gets me to a point, and so I just had to text you and say we're gonna have to do something. We need to do something about them kidneys. You need to come on live and let's talk about our kidneys.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I see you're gonna have to get your son to resend me my poor kidney emoji. That thing, I can't find it. So I've lost my poor kidneys. So Chantel's kidneys are really lost tonight. But we did get up the we did manage to bring up the glucometer and the sad pancreas, of course, because you may have to fill me guys in more on her because I do watch her through reaction channels. But I've been busy over the last couple of days, and so I I understood she took a cat and then took the cat back onto the street.
Well, not until she got $500, and then she dumped it back. Which, she shouldn't have taken it, and it was probably far better for it to have taken its risk on the streets. But she just did the whole scam. And when I was watching this unfold today, I said it. I was like, they're gonna scam money, and then Salah is gonna take and drop this cat back off. I mean, I said it, and that's exactly what happened.
She probably didn't even get that cat any veterinarian care. She said she did. I think
it was an unmarked garage. I mean, this was not a vet. It at the best was maybe a pet pharmacy. But it was not. He was in there all of 10 minutes and supposedly got all the cat's medical needs tended to in
absolutely.
10 minutes in an unmarked garage.
Absolutely. Because those cats never have like parasites or anything that need to be treated over a course of medication. It's like, and she doesn't worry about introducing that cat with her cat. So she's just negligent in more ways than
she excuses and weeds grow without cultivation with that one. That she had an answer for everything that was brought up to her when she snatched that cat. So, but my twin sister and I have fostered and taken care of close to 100 feral cats. We pay the medical expenses, the food, all of that. So that kind of stuff just, Lord, I had the high blood pressure today. Let me tell you, my face was red today. I was so mad I couldn't stand it.
And she just released another video where she said she returned the cat back to the street.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everybody is covering that at the moment. So those of you who are watching and joining Cheekbones and I to talk about Chantel's health, I appreciate it because I'm sure the cat drama is currently just like blowing up in girl world at the moment. Hey, Seafood Pie, come on in. Hey, Pam, come on in. So she has been like I'm sure it's blowing up because she just dropped that video like an hour ago. And so I know everybody and their mother is putting out content because it's the end of the month and every creator is going to be, wanting to take advantage. And Chantel is creating drama. And, it's not fair to that cat. That poor little cat. Thank you, Pat. That poor little cat looked like it wanted its mom desperately when I saw that video. It's attention. I mean, coming from somebody who's trying to be a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, what I obviously see is a lot of attention seeking from Chantel. And
well, I'm a dietitian and I know that.
yes, and drama and the dry begging is pretty bad. I actually overheard, and we'll get into the background because I think a lot of people know, and we'll get into these videos with her most recent 44-degree hot weather hangout. Or we could even look at the cat video, but I don't want to get you too heated. We'll just stick to our topics because she has been talking. She's been talking a lot about her health lately.
Yeah, I think she deleted the cat video.
Which one?
The one
There's one she deleted, but then she just released one. Yeah, dropping a bomb. I know. I know. Like literally, no, there's one where she released like her explanation video of why of the cat. Have you seen that yet?
I saw bits of it. It just,
her usual, everyone's going to be hating on her, and she did the cat so much good. And wow, what are you doing with that $500? Are you giving it to a charity that helps get these cats fixed or vaccinated? Are you trying to figure out how to get them water that runs clean for them at all times on the street? What are you doing? I'm sure what are you doing, Chantel, to help
she's
these
animals? She's going to drive through the Hardee's and get her a Santa Fe chicken biggie meal. That's what she's going to do.
And she also wants her audience now to pay for her fun travel experiences, that they get to pay for the honor of watching Chantel border hop and spend time in a hotel room.
They say there's one born every minute. And she has such a small community, and I'm putting that in air hyphens. But she's asking them to buy her cameos. Right. Send this, meet these goals, buy her merch, take care of this cat, pay for me to travel. And I just, out of such a small community, you're putting a big financial burden on these people. It's so shady.
It is terrible. And for those of you who are in my chat tonight, I'm actually going to be giving out 5 memberships to my community, a month membership for free. Because every time every month I do a foodie giveaway. Because I guess we could call this a once monthly foodie check-in, and where I check in on her health. So let's start doing that. Let's check in. Let's go back over a few days, everybody, because I've got to catch up a little bit. So you got to fill me in. Now, the fun part is we're just going to go to the parts where she's actually talking about her health. And if you have not had a chance to hit the likes so people know we're here going live. We also had a poll coming in, which asked, will Chantel ever get good control of her type 2 diabetes? And then nobody has said yes. Not one person. Not that we've had a ton of, but not one.
No.
I appreciate everyone. You all matter. And this gets the word out about actually trying to use these content creators as a conversation for health and wellness, whether it's their physical or their mental health. And I know Chantel has tried to become a motivational speaker recently. And if there's one person who does not need to be touching into the life coaching world, it's Chantel Marie. She is a toxic individual who should not be touching anybody's mental health, in my professional opinion.
Amen.
Okay. And then the other thing about her good control, it's all the haters' fault, expletive. Anything that happens, it's all the haters' fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all of our fault. It's all our fault. That's the reason why Chantel has diabetes. So if you haven't had a chance to get into that, please do. Okay, so we're going to catch me up over a couple of days. I know she deleted the one where she binged on the fried chicken and then steals a kitten. So I don't know. We could either take a look at her a deleted video of that, or we could just get into one of her recent ice cream or one where she talks about that she's going to go to the doctors. You let me know. Which would you like to react to? Because I'm going to let you do the reacting cheekbones.
Whichever.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a preferred? Because we have a few over the last few days. Obviously, the one where she ate the fried chicken. We'd have to do that through somebody's channel other than Foodie's.
I don't know if any. I watched her eat.
Oh, she's chicken live right this minute. How does she always go live when I go live? Have you ever noticed that? Do you notice that? Remember last year?
Yeah.
Anytime I go live, man.
She don't. Yeah. Unicorn.
I mean,
8 pieces of fried chicken. I just.
She ate how many pieces of fried chicken?
It was like 7, 8 pieces of fried chicken.
In one sitting?
Yeah. Oh, that's not the taters and all the other stuff there. But it was, and when I say
how many chickens would that make?
I think they got 14 or 15 pieces.
How many chickens is that altogether?
How many chickens 8 pieces to a chicken. But
well, I know, but if you pieced it all together, would it make a chicken? I mean, this is a question from somebody who doesn't eat meat.
Yeah, it's a whole chicken. Yeah, she ate a whole chicken. And it wasn't, I mean, the amount was bad enough, but she was tearing into that chicken like a feral dog. I ain't never in my life seen somebody cramming that chicken down their mouth. It was gobsmacking. It was truly unbelievable.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can manage that. Let's ask the audience. No, but we have different ones. Okay, so let's bring up one of her videos. Okay, so I'm just going to share this tab for the moment, and we'll see what's going on over here. And let me bring it up here so we can get some. Let me change the dynamic here. There we go. Look at that. Woo! Hey, Catherine, come on in. Chantel is live at the moment, of course, because I went live. Because I'm such a force of competition on her channel. No, it just is so funny. I don't know why she wants me to snipe her all the time. I guess she wants a letter from one of my attorney, like Tim got.
Hey, I'm
Tim
still
got
trying
2 letters from my attorney.
I'm still trying to catch up on the Tim stuff, but when I tell you that, I mean, just watching him, it makes my butt itch. I mean, he is a douche canoe. It just takes everything I have to watch him. It's just something else. I don't know, but I'm trying to get caught up on it.
You want to think that Chantel begs from her audience? Tim is the master at that.
I will agree.
I mean, that's why we have this gentleman is always playing.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have this dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Absolutely. And that's what these folks do all the dang time. And when Chantel comes out, she's got it. So she's talking about something over here. Let's just check in real quick, shall we? See what she's talking about, and then we'll talk about her health. Let's see if she's saying anything interesting. Let's see if she's raging.
Yeah.
Woo!
They are insane. Thanks, Krista.
Oh, here we go. She's the hater.
She ate the food up. Yeah, we have to feed the mom too.
Oh, here she's talking about the cat, everyone.
I don't know how many infects. I don't know what's wrong.
We're stream sniping. It's her favorite thing for us haters to do.
We're just gonna have to leave the cats where we see them, and Tiffany, right?
Thrilling.
Hey, Brooke.
Okay, what are they saying in Chantel's chat? Because Chantel is just her 5-hour live streams and stuff have just been thrilling lately. Cecilia the kitten is very sick, but thanks to the moral crusaders, she's back in the wild.
She wasn't going to keep that kitten. Number one, I think it was because it was a male. She wanted a female, but when they found out that it was so sick and the care it was going to have, it was going to have to be in quarantine, which her chat told her that when she snatched it up.
Right.
But, none of that mattered. But when it all, because she's so impulsive, when it all finally hit, and it was probably going to have some surgical corrections and stuff. So she didn't return it out of, oh, that's what's good for it. And no, it was the money. She didn't want to spend that money.
Right. I mean, that's actually taking time and dedication to have to care for something outside of herself. And I don't think she is fully capable. I mean, she's barely capable of caring for herself. As we know with her health, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight. She started on an antibiotic regime with the cat, and she dumped it back. I think she cat on antibiotics. I hope not, because that's not good for the cat.
Well, supposedly the garage vet gave them something, but I think that she was supposed to give it to them 2 times a day. And she's going to go to a park that's large with a vast amount of animals and try to locate this kitten and get it away from its feral mother and give it antibiotics twice a day. That's not going to happen. But
she would have needed to really, in reality, she was going to go through all that to save these cats. She would have needed to gotten correct veterinary care, cordon off a quarantined room, or paid for the cat to be cared for at the vets and with the mother. With the
mother. And having taken care of so many
2 cats, she would have to be on the hook for.
I've taken care of so many of these cats that a lot of times these respiratory issues, they need more than 1 round of antibiotics.
Right. They can be really, very contagious, and something that Julia could easily contract. And then she's got another sick cat. Especially those respiratory illnesses, are very highly contagious.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And then, of course, I'm sure she touched the cat and never washed her hands because she's just hygienic like that.
Well, she was rubbing her eye and sticking her fingers up her nose.
God, that eye is killing me. That eye. The eye is killing me.
Yeah.
It is leaky.
Well, it's been like that for a while. I mean, that red, leaking conjunctivitis kind of stuff, it's been going on for a while.
I think that something with her diabetes is getting so she didn't really has she done a blood sugar recently? I don't think she has. I don't think she's pulled up the glucometer.
The last one she did that I recall. Now, supposedly she went back to the doctor. But she refuses to talk about it, says everything was fine. So, I mean, it's up to you whether she went. I think personally
she went to the doctor without making content. Come on. We know that they lie.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Dr. Chantel, she skipped over to the pharmacy counter.
Yeah, I think that may be what she did. But she had taken her reading and she said, oh, it's good. And Salah said, well, 10's not bad, is it? So, but I can assure you that her sugars are way higher than 10. Even with that mega dose. Because, she's just on, 30 cc's of the basal insulin in the morning. I mean, she needs to be on a sliding scale.
She's like on MPH at night or something like that.
Oh, I couldn't remember which one it was.
She's doing like a nighttime, which is like.
Okay. But she's not. But she needs to be on a sliding scale.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to manage that outside of Q8 because. And most patients, they don't like patients. Oh, look, Chantel managed to beg $20 out of somebody.
I'm telling you.
All I ask for is a like and a subscribe, everybody. That's all we need over here. That's all we need. And some good banter going. Okay, so this is Chantel. Let's see what she's saying. I doubt she's saying anything else interesting. Let's hear her.
Yeah.
Chantel, come on.
I don't know, Rachel.
No, that's...
I've known you since I was 7. You've always wanted to help out kitties in knees while I sneezed beside you. Right? You know me.
No, okay.
No.
This is Chantel's drama for the end of the month, hey? Why does she always have to involve animals at the end of the month? Can't you keep away?
God.
That wasn't last month camels.
Poor camels.
I have a theory because look at this eye, okay? Now, let's talk about potential stuff going on here, and then we'll take it over to some of her, I guess, other videos. I don't know. Because we're just catching up here, but Chantel's eye. Now, I have been trying to consider 3 differential diagnoses for Chantel's eye. And I obviously, I just do the mental health now because I decided that trying to figure out all these diabetics was just going to make me go insane.
Mhm.
No, I just, that's why when I had to see Chantel's motivation video, I was just like, Lord of my, Mel Robbins, what video did she stumble upon?
A TikTok.
Yeah, something that she did a good job memorizing the BS, but so this is obviously the eye that's affected. I'm guessing this one here. This like one that's popping out like Marty Feldman. So,
Well, I bet with the filters, it's like one of them's normal size, but which one is it? Is one extremely large or is just one extremely small? It's hard to tell.
I'm always thinking it has to be the one she's dabbing is the one that's giving her problems.
Well,
like the leaky eye.
Yeah.
Because she's always got one that she's dabbing with a tissue. So it seems like she's leaking from one eye.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking there could be some potentials in here. 2 of which are leaking to diabetes, and the other one is linking to the heart. So,
yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, I think you're right.
So I'm thinking she's either got some type of like heart issue going on that's starting to cause her to have localized swelling to that one eye, and she's getting edematous, just literally eye edema from her I think that would come under it's either left or right sided heart failure. It's one of the 2.
Yeah.
She's getting heart failure on one of her sides. I'd have to double check which one. I think it might be left. I have to check. They all depending on which side the heart's failing will affect different parts of the body. And I can't remember which one off the top of my head. There's a lot. I used to know them all. Like one goes peripherally, like the left, I want to say goes more peripheral. But I consider that is one of the differential diagnoses I would work her up for. Another, of course, would be diabetic retinopathy without failure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's my number 1 pick.
But there is also very good what they call diabetic macular edema or something like that. So it's like a diabetic edema, and it's pretty dangerous. And so that would be my 3rd of my diagnoses. And she could have both the retinopathy and that diabetic macular edema going on.
Yeah. Well, the diabetes, it's wreaking havoc on her eyes, and and that's something she won't get back. You can't take a pill for that.
Absolutely not. If once she goes blind in that eye, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Boom. You're done.
Yeah.
There's no going back on that blindness, on that diabetic eye. That's because I know people who are type 1s who did not manage their diabetes well and got blinded in one eye.
My father-in-law he was type 2, and his eyes were terrible, what he had to go through with them before he passed away. So, I wouldn't wish it on nobody.
Right, and she has no care on these eyes whatsoever. So to assume that she is going to skate by without any ocular issues, from her diabetes and her heart disease, along with the kidneys and everything else that are going to start causing and wreaking havoc.
Yeah. Well, when she went back, I think it'll be 2 years, when she was in Canada and she had that eye appointment. And she said she went to the eye appointment and they sent her to the ER because of her blood sugars.
Right.
I don't think she ever got an exam. I mean, when your blood sugars are 24, 25, they sent her straight over there. But that, you know, that the eye doctor picked that up.
Right. No, they don't have an optician like that at the hospital.
No,
They're going to anticipate that you have a primary optician or, you know, ophthalmologist who takes care of your eyes outside of the hospital setting.
Yeah.
You know, that you go see, like I go, the Provision one over by the mall, you know.
Well, so she never got an eye exam. And then, you know, when she got back to Kuwait, she said, Salad went and picked up my prescription. Those are readers.
But
she never got.
Yeah, but it still doesn't mean it doesn't take up for the fact that isn't she supposed to be seeing an eye doctor like every 6 months? Type 2?
Absolutely.
And if she sees them once every 3 years, she got lucky.
Yeah. And Pam's right. She always, this is what just, I guess I have too much. She'll always say, my blood pressure was normal. I can assure you, no, ma'am, it's not. But she has all these comorbidities, and I'm not talking about like some people that are slightly overweight might have one or two, you know, that kind. I mean, hers are just out of control, chaos. And
the only thing that would say if her blood pressure was starting to fall low, that's because she's getting some other type of issue going on.
Yeah, when she started saying she I've got these migraines, and she went to the doctor and he said, your blood pressure is just outrageous. Put her on medication and told her to eat a low salt diet, which lasted all of 5 hot minutes. So, and the amount of sodium that, you know, there's no pill a pill's only going to do so much. It's not like she had, you know, a little extra sodium today. I mean, it's just mind-boggling the amount of sodium she consumes per meal, not per day. I mean, you know, when you're at because I watch Sansa Cooks, I mean, it can be 6,000 milligrams of sodium in a meal. And that's just one meal. That's
insane, because if I can remember my heart patients, we would limit them at 1,800 milligrams a day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, you know, like we've talked about at least 2 times I know on these things I've done with you, is that with those kidneys, with the uncontrolled diabetes and the high blood pressure and the levels that they're at, I'm telling you, and I think that if she did go to the doctor and she would have had to have blood work done. Right. Which this is why I'm kind of doubting she actually went to a physician. But you know, her kidneys, and I said this months ago, that I've got that on my bingo card. That's what's going to end up taking her out, is her kidneys.
Well, she mentioned something about her back hurting. So let's go over to that real quick. Yeah. I want to say it might have been a slightly older video. So let me get back. There's some funny ones. I have been enjoying, if nobody has discovered, YouTube has this way that you can get into a video and ask the AI what the video is about, and it kind of gives you a chance to get a summary, which is very beneficial when Chantel is doing 20-hour live streams. Which, wow, girl, go for the energy, you know. So this is one that she had about 4 days ago. Okay, Chantel, hold it in there. And she's got so many thanks buttons. Oh my gosh, Chantel's dry bag is just legendary at this moment. She is a begging queen. They're all begging at the moment. Tim is on a hard beg too.
Jesus.
He's really, he also, I mean, I don't know what's up with all of these different influencers at this moment in time, that they're all wanting people to pay for their travel. I've heard so many. I don't know if YouTube is like not paying people as much, or what's going on. But,
Well, I'm planning a trip to Key West in November. So if anybody would like to donate to the Send Sonia to Florida Fund, I'll appreciate it.
Yeah. And they can donate right here on my links. And I'll send you the money.
Well, they're getting paid for the videos and the ads and super chats, whatever.
Right.
But I think Chantal's financial woes are wide and deep.
Well, she's not a great planner.
Well, no, not at all. But I think she started paying back this bankruptcy now, because she had that 2-year window to get it done.
Correct.
But Salal's not coming to Canada.
Oh, absolutely.
And Canada is too much of a wonderful country for this piece of garbage to be allowed in there. But I mean, start at they're not legally married, and then add all the other things. But
and I don't think he wants to be a migrant worker, which is, I think, the other area that he could probably come under.
Well, no, but even if she gets, from what I understand, and if there's Canadians in the chat, they can correct me if something I say is wrong. But if you get it down to brass tacks, that the Canadian government does not consider YouTube a job. Right. So if she went to apply for him to come over, she has to show financial, that she can support him. But they're like, well, it'd be like she's unemployed.
You mean,
so it doesn't
having
matter.
A Cameo account does not a job equate?
A merch store?
Merch store?
Yeah.
Content creator if you were Mr. Beast, maybe.
Yeah.
But not Chantel Ray.
No. That's what Pam said. She's Canadian. Yeah. He doesn't meet, and I think she lies to him. And she had to start paying back that bankruptcy to give the illusion that she was doing something, but he's still not going to come. But I had heard something somewhere that at the 3-year mark is when Kuwait will say, you've got to be gone for a year. You can't, like the end of the term. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, her 3-year mark is coming up. So she may be trying to grift so she can get a place to stay for, but if she has to come back to Canada, Salal's out. He's gonna, if he can't get any money out of her, he's gonna dip, but she'll go on to the next low life, and she'll just pick it up where she dropped off.
I don't know how much she can really pick it up. She is so unhealthy. I don't know how much she can pick up. She is aging and not well.
No.
And it is a lot of energy. And I think it's easier for her just to sit and not to really have to think about anything.
Yeah.
And other than BS that she comes out with, like suddenly wanting to have some motivational speak. It was almost like she herself was trying to, pep herself up somehow.
Yeah. So Angela's Glass. Yes, I guess I need to give this disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. We're not here to diagnose or treat.
We do not.
All of this is my opinion based on my years as a registered dietitian, a dialysis dietitian, and subjective assessment. There we go. Thank you, Angela Glass.
Yeah, I don't think she'll make it out of Kuwait other than in ways that I don't want to describe at this rate, especially the way she's dragging her feet over there. All right, Foodie. Okay, so in this video, I love this AI. If you've never discovered the Ask button, it's a very handy tool when you've got a almost 4-hour live stream from Foodie Beauty to get summarized. And it says here that this live stream by Foodie Beauty is over 3 hours long. That's what the AI describes it as. I love it. and has some different things. Okay, personal life and struggles. Oh goodness! So she opens up about BBJ. Just to start the drama, because it's getting close to the end of the month, and Chantel gotta get that money in because she knows how poor she's going to be in June soon. And she opens up with her struggles with social anxiety, panic attacks, mentioning how it affects her daily life. Well, Chantel, if you have any of these going on, this clearly sounds to me like you do need to address your mental health, okay? And as somebody who is training to be a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and no, we are not treating or diagnosing here. This is only for education and entertainment purposes only, as my attorney has said.
Yes.
I have the attorney's letter. My attorney checked my channel out. That's what my attorney says. My quirky channel or unique or whatever my attorney puts stuff.
Well, and you might can answer this because it's in your sandbox, but she always talks about this social anxiety and, there's people there. And she'll say that in one breath. And then in the next breath, it's, I'm proud of how I look. I think I look great. Men want me. They flirt with me. So, I don't have anxiety, so I can't say it. I don't mean to misspeak about it for those that do have it. But to me, I would think if you have social anxiety, fine. But then why would you then say, I don't care what I look like. I'll go out. I'm proud of how I look.
Mechanism.
So does she.
She has.
Well, I don't doubt she has social anxiety, because if I was 470 pounds and 5 foot tall, there'd be a lot that would affect my anxiety.
Absolutely.
Like, am I going to have a major?
I would be very interested in administering one of our anxiety questionnaires to her to see how she responded to it, because we do have those that we actually use. There's several that are used with patients in order to start to gauge their levels of anxiety. And obviously then we can treat either with therapies or medications or a combination of the two. And then over time use those questionnaires in order to sort of gauge if the therapies and medications, any of the interventions are actually effective for the patient. With Chantel, it's hard to say. She obviously has some type of social anxiety, I would think, from just kind of considering her situation, because she is quite introverted in the respect that she's chosen to go to a country where she doesn't speak the language, and she's kind of holed herself up in a home. And then even when she does go out and visits other countries like Thailand, and she went twice, she doesn't really do anything other than remain in a hotel room and just go out and get food. And then it seems to be very chaotic when she actually goes out on these excursions. And
I would just
back. And I'm sure she doesn't feel in good health when she's doing any of these things, which is why I think her health is actually much more of a problem. So I don't know if she's getting social anxiety, but I think she's probably I don't think, her bowels don't do well. I mean, there's a lot.
Well, and I wish there was a machine we could put her in and we could test this and you could write a thesis on it. It'd be awesome. But if she was 100 pounds with a banging bod and a full head of hair, I don't think she would have any social anxiety or panic attacks. I mean, I'm just going out on a limb here. So I think it's directly related to her weight.
Oh, I'm sure her weight plays into it. Absolutely. But there's something deeper in there, which is to why did she put on so much weight?
This is here. I'm going to get in my Freudian armchair.
Why does she lack control?
But I have always had this theory that her eating and her weight and all that is some form of a defiance, and it's a defiance within her own psyche. Like her mind does say, you don't need to eat this. This is bad. You're going to gain weight. It's bad for your health. And then that split psyche goes, what? You're not going to tell us what to do. We're going to eat it. It's all like in her head.
Right. I think she does act as though she is hurting others by her eating this terrible food without really realizing the only person really being hurt from it at the end of the day is herself.
Yeah. But it's this internal struggle. I mean, she does it externally, oh, watch haters, I'm going to eat this Santa Fe chicken sandwich with 4 cups of sauce. I mean, it ain't hurting me, I'll tell you that. But I think it's some kind of internal dialogue she has and fights in herself because she's so defiant that she's going to do what she wants to do, that even internally it's
right. Yeah, I mean, there's that idea that I can do whatever I want to do. And I think even at the expense of her own body and health.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's kind of what I perceive from her is like, she will go ahead and knowingly know that her diabetes is not well managed. I know she's having, I think, so many, though we've seen her when she wants to walk, she can. But when I see her walk, even though she can still get around fairly well, she is carrying one heck of an abdominal weight on her at this moment in time. I mean,
did you see the clip when she was going back to her car?
Yes. It was horrific. That was
scary. And I don't think we've ever really touched on her liver because she had those issues. This is what she stated.
No, every single organ in her body is screaming.
Yeah. That it was like 2 or 3 times the normal size, her liver, and this was years ago.
That means and she has, of course, she's already lost her gallbladder. So because that was the first, fatality organ from her lifestyle. That's usually the first one that goes on that is the gallbladder.
But I've seen people, morbidly obese people, that they start with the NASH and then it rolls into cirrhosis and then it rolls into liver cancer.
Well, because the gallbladder gets messed up. They lose the gallbladder.
Yeah.
They always end up with the gallbladder having to be gone.
Yeah.
They end up with a cholecystectomy every time.
And the thing is,
and then that liver, because you need the gallbladder to do certain processes of it, but if you don't change your diet and you're still eating all this heavy fat food and you don't have a gallbladder that's going to produce the bile in order to break it down, it's going to have to end up in other places of the body. I mean, it's just going to cause havoc in the end. It's just a cascade of everything.
And, Pat was mentioned about her having her liver, I can't even think, the name, I can't even think of the term, tapping her for the fluid on the abdomen from liver failure.
Yeah.
But, honestly, how would you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and Pat says, why wouldn't my husband want me? I'm gorgeous. Yeah, I think Chantel, I think the thing about all the men wanting her, I think that's just, I think not even she believes it when she says that.
But, she had her abdominal girth, the liver cancer or liver patients I've dealt with, they're usually very thin. And so when they have the ascites, that's what it is.
Right.
It's very evident.
Right.
But she's so big and has so much abdominal fat. If she really had it, how would you know?
It would be hard to actually palpate and tell.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with all of that adipose tissue right there at the front of her, one, that could be what's causing, obviously, the back issues. I mean, obviously, the kidneys cause the back issues. The weight that is being on that back, obviously, is another potential. And then I'm trying to think what could be something else. She slipped a disc or something, that'd be 3 potential things that we could think of that would cause her. She, the sciatica seems to have magically disappeared.
Well, just give it some time. It's on a loop. It'll come back around.
It'll come back around. I mentioned it. She'll watch my little tiny video. Next thing I know, she'll be talking about her sciatica. Okay. This is, so she goes off about her, anxiety and panic attacks. And I mean, I'd be panicking too if I owed the Canadian government a bunch of money and was having to beg my subscribers to try to get me to travel, or pay for my stuff and using cats as props in order to get money out of people. I'd be panicking too. Okay. The potential separation. Okay, just causing drama. Okay, she said she went for a health checkup about her diabetes. This is a 10-second conversation. So let's take it away, Chantel.
Work. I just have to plug it in. Do people make fun of someone who lives in a studio? Probably.
Is that it?
They made you change your shirt.
I thought she was talking about her diabetes.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Most people, for his apartment size that you guys were making fun of because you're culturally fucking ignorant.
What?
People live like families of...
What, did I know she was going to cuss like that?
Yeah.
I think it did say something about her using bad language. I didn't know she was F-bombing.
Oh, yeah.
How did she not get demonetized?
I don't know. But yeah,
I'm probably going to be demonetized for that now.
See, I mean, and that's about, she just said, that she had this doctor's appointment, but she said something very interesting before she went talking about this doctor's visit. She said, I don't want to have to, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't want to have to keep upping my insulin. And so I'm wondering, has she been back and had it increased? Or is she just increasing it on her own? Or something to that? But it was very interesting the way she put it. It just led me to believe that she's taking more than I think the original. I don't know. I can't even remember what it was.
I'm sure she needs
15, 20 cc, something like that. It was something very small.
I'm sure. She's supposed to be taking that one at night as just a basal, thing to kind of help her stay a little bit even.
Yeah.
It's to help the metformin, kind of do its job, at nighttime, kind of clean up. But she doesn't ever stop eating. So when is this drug supposed to be working? She doesn't sleep properly.
Yeah.
So she doesn't use anything. How is she going to get any good control? The only way that she's going to get is a bunch of meds. And I don't think she's ever going to get good control. Her pancreas is going to completely go out.
Sad pancreas.
Sad pancreas is in the chat, everybody. No, it seriously is. I mean, that pancreas is gone. It's like waving a white flag of surrender.
Girl, that pancreas gone to Jesus a long time ago.
That pancreas
checked out. Bon voyage.
Clean with it. I mean, she's you can't have issues like that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she has pancreatitis at this point too.
Well, yeah, I'm shocked she hasn't. I'm gonna be honest.
She probably does. She just doesn't know. She doesn't look healthy. I don't care. Even with all that filter there on her face, she looks pale as heck.
Yeah.
She is why she probably doesn't move around a great deal. She's probably scared of a heart attack.
Well, with all those, I mean, her GI issues that, she has to be close to a bathroom, within 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That would cause her social anxiety too. That's what I'm thinking is part of what her social anxiety would be. Is the fact that she has to be so close to a bathroom at all times. That would cause me social anxiety.
Well, she was claiming that like back in the villa days and stuff,
I mean, she has to be pooping huge amounts of poop. I mean, the food she takes in, it doesn't just all become like that, body weight. It's got to come out.
Well, I think the diabetes, the metformin, and no gallbladder. I mean, those three right there. And, probably I've wondered sometimes, like, I don't think she eats any less than Amberlynn Reed. And I really wondered, why is she not like 900 pounds? But I think she has such malabsorption that like it doesn't stay around long enough to go into the fat stores. It just
well, that issue, what people don't realize is like her abdomen is going to get solidly hard at some point to touch because you
Yeah.
can't get a lot of blood flow at all into that type of tissue. So it's like literally just dead, like doesn't have any blood flow. It's really difficult to get blood flow into there.
Yeah.
So it's not the same as like healthy tissue at all. And then
Just
oh.
well, just the pressure that has to put on her lungs, all her internal organs. It's just, I can't even imagine.
Crunched up.
It would be worse than being pregnant.
Oh, I would think, because it's not, like I said, it's not the same type of that tissue, that adipose tissue is not well innervated with any type of nerves. There's very little blood flow. And that can make it very different in losing that type of, fat, because it's kind of, it's not easy.
No. And I wish I should have looked this up. It's been a hot minute since I've been in clinicals or working clinically, but there is that formula, that hip to waist ratio, and so many, is a indicator of your chance of a cardiac event.
Yes.
And I mean, I'd like, well, we're just guessing she's 6 feet around. She may be more now, but I mean, it would be astronomical.
Oh, and you can actually do like the sort of check for her atherosclerotic. If we really knew her blood pressure or atherosclerotic, if we knew any of her numbers, because I got some from Tim, and I was able to do the risk for a atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, which I would say Chantel's risk is probably pretty high because she smokes all that shisha too.
Yeah. She has an enlarged heart. That's what she said.
Well, that could be reason why that eye is all wanky. Well, that with the diabetes. Yeah. Okay, so she says that she went for a health checkup. Is that right? Let me see. Let me go back a little bit and see what she says here. Let's see what she says. She says she went on a health thing. Let me hear. Okay, let me start from here. I have to get past her cussing.
Wrong. Hello, me by the book. We should all just be grateful. Lots of people are homeless and hungry. Exactly. I'm not talking about reaction channels. I'm just making a point. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. But whatever, yeah.
I don't think the AI was correct. Oh no, it's coming up. Hold
on. Danielle, wouldn't Salah prefer if you were out with a friend or two? Why would Salah dictate what I do and what makes me happy? Like, this is my job. This is what I do. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a streamer. Like, get with the times. There's so many streamers out there. Like, what? And no, I don't want to hang out with people. Thank you.
Oh.
Figures the person who makes money off of misinformation wants complete lack of transparency. Kudos.
Well, the AI said she was talking about. Oh, here it's coming up.
Huh? What do you mean? No, the TV is just decoration at this point. It does work. I just have to plug it in. Do people make fun of someone who lives in a studio? Probably.
Oh, here we go. You may want to mute this.
Your shirt. Yeah, because there was a hole in it.
Oh, is she here? She said she was going to start talking about the doctor, but I guess that's not the case. That's what the AI said. Did she start cussing at this point?
Well, when they are talking about that first apartment that Salah had, that's when she gets her feathers all ruffled and goes on, drops the F-bomb. But literally all she says is, that, she's going to the doctor. And the few days prior, she just was on a rant, eating crazy, because I think if she did have this appointment, she knew the doctor was going to slam her. And so she was just eating no holds barred.
Well, the doctors there can't really care for her anyway.
No.
So she's going to be not getting optimal care. And
No.
I don't think, even in Canada, I don't think she would get optimal care. I think she will be the queen of the emergency room.
Oh,
She will
absolutely.
be
Well,
a
I mean, I
frequent
think it's,
flyer.
yeah, I mean, number one, finding a physician, and I think it is dependent, my Canadians know this, where you live so far as your ease of access to a primary care physician.
Right.
But she's non-compliant. She's a
Absolutely.
no-show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's like she'll be an ER person, you know,
She'd
come
be
in,
like
put a
one of my
Band-Aid on.
patients who rolled in post-heart attack on the Jazzy.
Yeah.
Nothing changing.
Yeah. And here's my big problem with her and her medical or just, I just say health misinformation, is that she talks about her diabetes and, oh yeah, well, my numbers were real good. And then she'll eat this absolutely atrocious meal. And to
Right.
me, she's telling people, oh yeah, you can eat like this, and it's, if you take your medicine, it's okay. But
Right.
she's never honest. She's not honest about her weight. She's not honest about her meals. She's not
Right.
honest about her health. And she's never going to get better till she gets honest with herself.
Right.
So, but that's what really just twerks me, is when she does that, because, you know, people, you know, average person's like, oh, hey, I can eat like that, and I can take me some metformin, it'll be okay. No.
Well, she gives kind of permission for people to feel that there's a community around not having, you know, a sort of sense of, you know, change of responsibility in regards to health. That, you know, there's like, you know, somebody who, you know, her literally her Beezers, who understand that this person is a uncontrolled, unmanaged type 2 diabetic. And I think at this day and age, most people understand how damaging and life-threatening diabetes really is. And to have somebody who, and I still don't get why people, knowing people are diabetics, still encourage them to eat sweets and carby foods and cakes and chocolates. I've seen it in my own eyes, like in working in hospitals, like with other healthcare providers, you know, like, you know, sometimes I've like seen administrative or people who work in the like medical industry, but they're not necessarily like a nurse or a doctor, but like in the administrative areas or something, and full on raging diabetics carrying in the biggest Starbucks you'll ever see in your life, you know, with a frappy, caramel maki, you know, and eating all this stuff. And when you're sort of trying to figure out, you know, you're seeing the person falling asleep in the afternoon at their desk and knowing it's probably because they're going into like literally a diabetic coma right in front of you. And, you know, they're not getting good control of their blood sugars. And yet these other people are still encouraging them to eat this food. And and if you say something, you're the bad person.
Yeah.
Not the people encouraging these people to eat trash. And it's just like, it's almost like misery loves company. Like these people, I think in Chantel's chat, are miserable human beings themselves. They probably suffer from a myriad of, you know, health issues. And to have somebody like Chantel who blatantly does not care a single fig about her well-being, not one fig. This woman has zero growth. The fact that she seems to think that she is some sort of to be reviled or you know held in high esteem content creator when she's a because she's a mess.
Yeah.
Because she's literally a mess. It's horrific how this grown individual is begging people for money online, is obliterating her health for everybody to see, and anybody with in their right mind absolutely sees it for what it is, you know. And it's just, she's just, and it's almost comical to see her come out and try to do, in my estimation, motivational speaking, you know, and get upset, you know, that people, you know, I think, you know, it's just, I just can't stand it when I see. I think her Beezers are almost more offensive sometimes than she is, because they encourage it. They continue to encourage it.
And Yeah, I think she's got a lot of trolls, but at the end of the day, she doesn't want anybody telling her the truth. She wants that hug box.
Right.
And she skates right over.
And that's all that YouTube is. It's a paying hug box.
Yeah, that's what her chat is. And back in the day,
She doesn't have to face any type of reality. She does not like to face reality. She doesn't face any type of reality, and that's why she wants to stay inside of the box, because the box keeps her from having to be out actually in reality. Because that's where people stare at her and probably laugh or say things, and she's getting conscientious about what people are saying and believing around, and whereas in here, she's can be, sassy Chantel, effing and blinding and this, that, and the other.
Well, she skates right over. I mean, she has said things like, they put her on Farxiga for kidneys, and I had some protein in my urine, but I can guarantee you it is way worse than that. We don't have labs. We can't give any type of stage her kidney disease, but I'll guarantee you she's got it.
Oh, and absolutely, at least a stage 1 or 2 by now.
And that diet, that renal diet, that's not even addressed. It's not in the vocabulary, nothing. And when you get to a certain point, there's nothing you can do.
She's not a candidate for a kidney transplant.
No, absolutely. She is not a candidate. I know that I had to go through that process with some of my patients at the dialysis that were on the list for transplants. And let me tell you that they are so strict about who gets them. So she wouldn't qualify for the surgery. So
she couldn't pass a cardiac clearance to begin with.
No.
She never, all these weight loss surgeries and all these things she fantasizes, those 10 years ago, when she was starting to work out after her cancer diagnosis, that was her actual opportunity to probably have really gotten a handle on it. At this point, she has done so much damage because she's bigger than a lot of people. And I always remember this when they're always talking about her weight. When she was in the Canadian ER, she showed her discharge, but the one thing she had blacked out was the weight.
Absolutely.
So the one place that showed her true weight was that hospital, and that's the one piece of information she never shared.
That's it. So she can jump on that little Temu scale all she wants. She redacted that hospital weight, and that's all I needed to know.
Yep.
That she's lying about her weight.
And we know that she got 6 bags of fluid to get her supposedly, I guess, rehydrated from whatever on her blood sugars. And that was probably, and that's weight based. And that put her well into 500 pounds.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how many of those stupid scales she steps on in front of people. We know they're not even calibrated to take her weight. So that's just BS on our part.
She calls us haters. I mean, I would like nothing more for her to go back to Canada, get her life straightened out, do inpatient, get her mental health, get all these comorbidities under control, lose the weight, and stick it to all of us. I would love it.
Right.
But she's not going to do that, and it's the misinformation or the from her that just, it triggers me. Because that's probably going to hurt somebody out there.
She triggers people anyway because of her, the way she tags things, and then people find her content and then they realize she's doing something completely different. Because she talks about her weight loss and the struggles and this, that, and the other. And so she, misrepresents herself on the platform as to who she is, and therefore she brings people to her channel, and she possibly could be triggering for them. I don't think she has the wherewithal and the mental capacity to actually understand how she can impact people. I think she's, just sees YouTube as her source of income, and she's going to do whatever she can to maintain it, regardless of what anybody else thinks. And what, because it wasn't like she had an epiphany after YouTube banned her last time. They never should have let her back on. But
no, I don't
somehow,
think
I don't know how she managed to do it. I think all the times that she's chosen to be problematic since then, they should have had something happen. But YouTube is a strange bedfellow, and they often really don't care if it's about making money. So
I agree. I think that was it at the end of the day. But if she, with all this, if they're hammering down on this, mukbanging, ED talking stuff, that it's going to be a real problem for her.
Right.
Because
Okay.
she likes to use that shield of protection of, I have bed, I have this eating disorder. That's why I'm eating like this. She uses it to protect herself. But if she does that on her YouTube channel, which is what she does all the time, it could cost her YouTube channel.
Right. It absolutely could. All right, let's go over to this one. This was the hello. So this one was from 4 days ago. This is one from 3 days ago. And I love these ones. A video is a live stream by a woman named Foodie Beauty who's walking into a Baskin Robbins ice cream parlor in the heat. All right, let's hear her talk. This is why I don't think we always say if we don't see it, it didn't happen. All right, Chantel, take it away.
Yes, everything went well at the doctor. I'm just gonna say that. I don't want to talk about it, but it went well. Nothing exciting. Nona, Jessica, Rachel, females, Courtney.
Yeah. That's it. And if it truly was like good, I like I said, I'm still split if she even went to a real physician or an endocrinologist.
What doctor is she seeing?
Well, they're having to move around because she can't go back. I would think she would be concerned with being reported.
Right.
But
exactly, she's not supposed to be having like a primary care physician out in Kuwait.
Yeah. And like you said, they're not going to go in depth with her care because she's a tourist.
Right.
So they'll patch a Band-Aid over it and send her on her way and tell her to see her, follow up with her primary when she gets, back to Canada, but, so I don't know. I have mixed feelings whether she went or not.
I mean, she's not in a place. I mean, this is just from my sort of being a rational adult, I guess. I guess that doesn't exist in YouTube world.
Yeah.
I guess if you're a content creator who live streams in real life like these guys do, the idea is that you show the most disastrous parts of your being out for the whole world to see. But because that's kind of where she's at, I think she's just an absolute. It is sad because I think if any of the folks in her audience are younger, I think it could give a false impression that you could be, eating all this type of food and you're suddenly diabetic, you just take medication, but you still continue to eat that diet and you're okay. And that's not the case.
Or even with the blood pressure. Oh, you have high blood pressure. Here's a pill. And then you don't have high blood pressure anymore.
Right. And people are the ones who say that we and the medical professionals are the ones who want to give everybody the pills. No, we actually would rather you do the things to get healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know the pills are only going to do but so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I've said it before. I can't put a time frame. It's a year or so longer ago. And my husband's cholesterol was, like 201, something right there at that break. And they wanted to put him on a statin. And I said, absolutely not. And so I locked down that diet on him and it dropped and no problems. I mean, I ride him about it, but his diet, but so I'm obviously being a dietitian. There's almost anything that can be fixed with your diet
Right.
if you get it at a certain point.
Well,
You
see,
know,
I always go over 200 because my HDL is so high. Even if my LDL is always low, it just goes up because my
Yeah.
HDL is so high. So, but the doctors don't worry about it that way.
No,
So,
if your HDL is high, and I used to know this, there's it's another formula too that is it over 60
oh, I'm over
HDL?
100.
Well, the higher it is, the lower risk you have of a cardiac event.
Right.
I've always had high HDL.
And then they were trying to say, though, at one point, too high HDL could be bad. But I was like, how?
How?
It takes I don't know. Because they're always trying to say something. I don't know. Like, oh, but
Yeah.
it's just too high, but I don't know. Mine goes really high. Okay, let's get back to Chantel over here and whatever she was saying in this hello video. So she goes off about, that's the one part where she talks about her health. And let's get into the next part here. Let's hope I didn't lose my AI chat. Oh, I hope I didn't. I might have. Let's hope not. May have. Oh, here we go. Ask. I'm enjoying this because it gets me around this 4-hour video, however long it was. Okay, so we're going to go off to the ice cream store. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
Okay, she said this was one scoop in a sugar waffle cone. But I've been to Baskin Robbins. I'm sure most of us have been, and their scoops are microscopic. That had to have been at least a cup and a half of ice cream in that cone. That's all I'm going to say, because they don't give you a bunch of ice cream.
And of course, she had the sugar cone.
Yes, and then put gummy bears. And what somebody in her chat said, well, did they have some sugar-free options? And she goes, oh, I didn't see any. She didn't look. Because I do believe they have sugar-free options.
There's just no way that her pancreas can cope with this. She does not exercise. She just, her body just is, you can't eat like this and expect, I don't think any normal adult would think this is okay.
Yeah. I've seen it before, and I've said it, when I worked skilled in long-term care, that we had patients in our long-term care that were in their 40s for morbid obesity. They were bedridden and in a nursing home because of the morbid obesity, and 40s and 50s. And it's really sad.
Absolutely.
Just kind of, and their family come to just dancing in with big old bags of junk food to bring to them. So, but it's either it's going to be one thing that triggers her, or it's going to be like a snowfall and multiple things hit.
Oh, she's going to end up with some catastrophic event, I think.
Yeah.
At some point. I mean,
and I don't want that for her. You don't want that for her.
Absolutely not.
I don't want that for her mother or her family. But it's kind of like you dancing with the devil. So, I can't do anything about it.
I think she's been fortunate that these things have occurred when she's been in Canada. I don't think she's going to know what's, I'm surprised that she's, done as well as she has, but she doesn't move a great deal, which is very concerning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, she's 470 pounds at least. So, I'm sure everything, it hurts. It's painful. She's out of breath. Plus she's, in my opinion, she's lazy. But now if you want to get her moving on that treadmill, tie up one of them Santa Fe chicken sandwiches, like a carrot, in front of a horse, and put her on there. But she has no desire to help herself. And so
no, that's way too much work and effort. I think this is almost like I've seen this with content creation, because I watch a lot of different types of channels, because obviously I'm interested in at some point trying to improve my own content, but obviously we know I work a lot. It's hard.
Yes.
But I try to learn, and I've noticed either you have these great channels where, like there are individuals who have something that they can share, and they've been able to create a great channel. Like literally, they've got their own camera people following them now, and like there's one that I love to watch called the Hoof GP up in Scotland, because I lived in Scotland as a kid, and I love watching cows. And there's like a whole it's like a real like production,
Yeah.
And so, and just like, and obviously these people are motivating, because you sort of, see them really, grow their businesses, their channels, and this, that. And, it seems to motivate these creators to create even bigger and better things or whatever for their brand, Chantel doesn't care about her brand.
Yeah. No, well,
There is no brand because she's too lazy.
Yeah. Well, she wants you to pay for it if she does something, and usually the
people will pay for it if it's good. That's what these people don't understand.
Well,
people will pay for good stuff.
For a super chat to get out there and get in the pool and get some, so it's
not even good content.
But
why would I ask people to have me? The only reason that would be good content is for somebody to mock an oversized person in the pool.
Well, I mean, just to get exercise, hey, I'll pay you if you want payment for content to do something on your channel.
I guess in that respect, but
yeah, but she'll take the money and then not do it. So
that's the fault. That's the problem. It's like, how do you get her to actually do the exercise and then get the money? But Chantel's never going to do that.
Yeah, Sharon mentioned, and I agree, the treadmill for long term, right now the condition she's in would be too hard on her, and the elliptical would be
absolutely
great. But I mean, I think it would have to be, and Sharon, you probably know better than I do. If they make the ellipticals for super morbidly obese, because she did try to get on the one at the downstairs gym. It sounded like it was going to crack in two, and she had to do it backwards because her abdomen area, she couldn't go forward.
I'm sure those things have a weight limit. I'm sure she's over it.
Oh yeah, I think it was a 300-pound limit, and
the only one that would be able to probably take that type of weight would be one specifically made, and they probably don't even do that for these patients. I don't even know if there are treadmills that big, because if they're even going to do a stress test, they probably chemically induce these patients.
Yeah, I think so.
They probably wouldn't even put them on the treadmill.
But
I've had patients who, probably weighed 200 some pounds, and they looked like big people. So I can't even imagine how big she must really look in person.
Yeah. Well, she could start with chair exercise. I mean, there's always where there's a wheel.
Well, first she needs to put down the fork. That's the first exercise, is the exercising of, moderation, and, and that is something that she is not going to be ever able to do without proper, cognitive behavioral therapy. She has no ability. She has no willpower at this point. She has no fallback. She has no she's no good habits. She's got nothing that will be able to substitute whatever the food is. She's got nothing. What is she substituting with? And the time she has, the substitutions were not good.
No. And
very unhealthy coping mechanisms.
Well, if you can eat through some of her recreational things she was doing, and she ate through them, that's pretty killing. But her sitting in Kuwait, there's nothing there for her. She might be able to, if she was in Canada, get the Monjaro, would probably be a better, medication. She needs to be on,
Wegovy maybe too.
Yeah. I mean, she said that Ozempic made her sick, and from what I understand,
Ozempic's not a big enough dose.
Yeah.
Well, Chantel, you need to be made uncomfortable in your stomach.
Yeah.
You need to be given something that's going to make you not want to eat. Yeah. That's the only type of, intervention that potentially could work with you, is something that puts you off of food.
Yeah. Well, and I think we all agree. I think there's some mental health component that needs to be
Oh,
addressed, and
she
get
can't get anywhere on anything else until she addresses that, in my
yeah,
estimation. She
yeah,
has zero coping mechanisms for a lot of things. She really doesn't seem to have many coping mechanisms for anything. She
Well,
tries to sit there and act like queen of the world.
yeah. Well, eating is her main coping mechanism.
Yeah, that's not
I
the
mean, and
only
that's just her behavior.
right.
It's she can be mad or upset, but as soon as food, like when her and Salah got in that fight in the car, and he had said something to her, and she said, something like, "Oh, that hurt my feelings. Now you owe me a cheeseburger." And I thought, that is so strange, but I guess if there's some transgression, she gets
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Some
compensated.
type of that has to have been a learned behavior in the home.
Yeah,
That if
and
Chantel got upset, the way to help her not feel upset was to give her something to eat.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure, and there's probably a lot in the childhood, but I mean, that's not excuse for anybody. We all
Oh no, it's
have
not an excuse. I'm just thinking that generally stems from something probably learnt in childhood. A lot of times, food is comfort. That's
yeah.
usually something that's probably. And her
Well,
behavior is very childlike most of the time anyway. I mean, taking that cat off the street and not thinking fully through everything that could happen,
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I think avoidance,
Oh,
like
she's
if
got it all.
it won't happen to me. Oh, it hadn't happened yet, so it won't happen to me.
Well, she's avoiding a lot of stuff just by staying in Kuwait. That's just like one of the biggest avoidance tactics to everything, avoiding her health, because probably being in Canada, she potentially has people who do care about her, who are going to mention it to her and not
Yeah.
just let it slide.
But I think her family, this is my personal opinion, and I think Pete's had mentioned something about it, that they had basically like given up.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Now they probably have. Probably after
Yeah.
the last trip when they were supposedly taking her to see the therapist,
Mhm.
and then she copped out again. I think
Mhm.
all of that was for show for her family too. I think
Mhm.
she was almost putting on a show saying she was moving back to Canada. This just for some reason I think it was about appeasing her family in some
Mhm.
way, and maybe for them to put her up in their home, just
Yeah.
so she'd have somewhere to stay.
Yeah. Boo Squeezy is absolutely, and I've said this. Hey, girl. Yeah. That I think she will be needing dialysis, and
Oh
I've said
yeah.
this in the past, and I just cannot stress to it enough. Nothing will terrify you more than go back there in the center when they're doing dialysis.
Ugh.
And it's not just, oh gosh, I've got to stay hooked up to a machine for 4 hours 3 times a week. I mean, I've seen people code on the machines. There's this
I have to
whole
say, it's
balance.
my worst patient deaths. Some of my
Yes.
worst hospice cases were end-stage renal disease.
All your
once
levels
you turn off that dialysis, it is
Yeah.
not good. These people fill with fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Just
And I mean, you
fill
have
with
to
fluid.
your labs and your,
Oh.
watch your phosphorus. You have to watch your
Smell.
calcium. You have to watch your protein, and you have to take binders, and you have to take special vitamins. And I mean, it terrified me. And I worked in healthcare for years
Right.
before I worked at the dialysis unit. But it is absolutely terrifying.
The death is terrifying because,
Yes.
like I said, I helped a lot of these patients die from end-stage renal disease.
Mhm.
And once that dialysis turned off, oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. The smell. They can't urinate.
Yeah.
And they just there's nowhere for this fluid.
Yeah.
They just become fluid. It's just, and they can live for some time like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh,
And and like I've said before, probably 90 to 95% of them, the common factor, uncontrolled type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure.
absolutely.
And if you want to
Absolutely.
get put on that transplant list, guess what you got to get under control? Those two things.
Yeah. Well, most of them will never pass a cardiac clearance. The people getting kidney transplants are people like Selena Gomez, young people with,
Well,
congenital kidney disease.
I had
Not unhealthy people like Chantel.
I had a patient.
Not a candidate for anything.
Yeah. Well, I had a patient that he had a kidney transplant, and it was like 20 years prior. Well, that kidney gave out, but the anti-rejection medication, his fingers were literally like breaking off. I mean, they were necrotic, and it was from the medication he had to take for the anti-rejection. Because I would have to get them to sign for their medications, like they're not. I'm talking about vitamins and that kind of stuff, or binders. And he, the first time I met him, he said, "You'll have to sign that for me." And I just looked at him, and he picked up his hand from underneath the blanket, and like half his fingers were gone. So, yeah. So the whole thing it's just terrifying. And
Chantel trying to get a fistula.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to find a fistula in her arm?
No, I can't imagine trying to place one.
Fistula in there.
I don't.
I've only seen them in really skinny arms. Yeah.
I mean,
how would they even get her under surgery to put a fistula in her?
I know.
So she would have to be getting it like what do they call it when they do it from the top more? Like peritoneal, like not peritoneal, but like hemo. They'd have to do
the subclavian port. Is that
yes, something different. She'd have to have
they'll start her like that until they can place the fistula.
I don't think they could get a fistula in her, because how would they put her under for surgery? Well, I don't know. I've never seen a dialysis patient quite that size. Like I used to see these people having a myocardial infarction in the heart hospital before they got even to the dialysis sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's their iron, their red blood. I mean, it's just so involved, and it's just terrifying. And I strongly recommend, if anybody has high blood pressure or type 2 diabetes, make sure you're getting those kidneys checked. Make sure they're checking your labs, because those are the two biggest risk factors.
Yes.
And so you can, maybe get, talk to a dietitian or a renal diet if you're like stage 2, stage 3,
right,
and stop it,
Right. Yeah. You don't want to, I think it's, I think we love our food, but there reaches a point where, let's see Chantel go get her torn ice cream, shall we? On this happy note. Take it away.
Yes.
Take it away for a minute, Chantel, and I'm going to give away some free memberships. Oh my gosh. What is this angle? What the heck? She is on, guys. This is her quality of video. This is on. This is on, guys. This is what we got. So we didn't get to see her actually go into the ice cream store? Did we see her go in?
No, she went in there and did samples of.
Here we go. Okay. Let me go back. Yeah. Here we go. Let's get back here.
It smells like fast food.
Oh, she loves that smell.
Good for you, Pam.
There's music.
That's what I need to be
doing. This is that quality content she got.
Need some Dramamine.
Yeah. How did I give away 5 memberships but only look like 4 people got them? I don't know how that happened. Oh, somebody else won one. I hope. This is what we got. Oh, this is just where we need to see this young diabetic head to. Yes, of course. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I mean, this is perfect. Yeah. This is where I would suggest we send all our patients with raging diabetes. At least her pointer finger works in Kuwait. Oh, she's got to taste them all first, hey? Yeah, you can't just... Of course, Chantel does not have a clue what type of ice cream flavor she likes. She's confused. Like, do I like chocolate Rocky Road? Do I like... Oh, let me try that one over here. I need to try every flavor. By then, Chantel, that's when you should peace out. You know, that's all. Is that a... Oh, she said that.
That sounds good.
What's that? What's she got here? Oh, pralines and cream, chocolate, gold medal diabetes, whatever she got over here. This is making me feel like I'm gonna have to watch my blood sugars.
I'm not a sweet eater, so you know it just doesn't look real appetizing to me. Never have
I
been.
do like sweets, but not. I have to, I make a decision. Like if I ate this, I can't have that. Look at this. Oh my good. I don't understand. No, I do. She has herself.
I think she muted when she orders, if I'm not mistaken. And the theory is that, she said, oh, I just got 1 scoop. Their theory is that she ordered more. But when you'll see the cone, and then she gets gummy bears on top of them. But
I saw her scoop already one type over there, and now she's over here.
That's just, I don't know. Maybe they're generous in Q8 with their ice cream, but the Baskin Robbins here, like a scoop is probably about a half of a cup. I mean, they're not going to give you a big, boulder of ice cream.
Gosh. Yeah. There was like some ice cream place near where I was at in South Carolina, Rock Hill. Oh my God. It was like homemade ice cream with the cones. That was a place that would get you in trouble. I could not go there, but maybe one or 2 times. Because I am uncontrollable when it comes to... Is this her content? Just black screen?
Yeah, I think that's when she... if I get what I call a sweet tooth...
Why is her subs not giving her more money for this high quality content?
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. She's, she usually meets her daily goals that she puts up because, they'll send it to her.
She has daily goals?
Yeah, like $100. She'll do $100, $50 or $100 daily goals for content. But I
mean, if you think about it, if she's doing that over 30 days, she thinks she's worth $3,000 from just her subscribers?
Well, it's for her to do content, but the content is going to eat, or she went and sat in that park, but
they get AdSense and stuff.
Yeah.
So why is because Sarasota Tim is doing this recently. This is her content, everybody. I promise you, this is playing. He does the same. He wants people to send him money to travel. Are these people broke? I mean, should I be telling people I need $100 a day? I just gave away memberships. Am I crazy?
Excuse me if I do not pronounce your name correctly. Adriana? Yeah. I mean, she would get the dialysis.
Yes.
Because that's life-saving. Now, if it came to a transplant, then no, she would, at her current state, no, she wouldn't qualify for a transplant, but she would get dialysis.
I don't even think she would qualify for a transplant in Canada.
No, well, I don't think she would, I'm not trying to be morbid, but I don't know that she could survive any surgery.
No, she wouldn't. I don't think there's one doctor who's going to put her under for surgery. That's it. Only Dr. No.
Okay, sorry. They were playing. You know what they're playing?
Just Dr. No. He may be the only type of physician who has an anesthesiologist he trusts enough to put these people under.
Yeah.
You have to be a very specialized, probably, anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
And he already makes sure that they are going to be able to have some type of success. There's a lot of counseling that goes into this weight loss surgery. It's not just like one day these people wake up and decide to get weight loss surgery.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of mental preparation that they actually have to go into.
Oh, yeah.
Sure that they're mentally able to handle the responsibility of the surgery.
Well, that's when I work in the clinical setting, and this is my beef with some registered dietitians, is that the doctor's offices would pay them $100 because they had to have nutritional counseling by a registered dietitian to become eligible. So they'd pay the dietitian, and I had one that said, "Oh man, it's easy, $100." And I just was like, well, and they just are real scripted in what they say because they say what the doctor wants them to say. But they have to get that checked off. Right. So, and I have a problem with that. I can't, I've been asked to do it, and, I'm like, well, I'll do it, but if I don't think you're ready, I'll put a no. So
you're not just going to give them a pass. I'm
not going to check a box for $100. This is, that's an ethics thing. And I'm not, it's not that I'm totally opposed to bypass surgery. It works really well for some people, but it's, if you don't have your head right, you can gain the weight back very easily. So, and then you have malabsorption and nutritional issues. And so, I just, I'm just not a big fan of it.
And that's one other thing I think she tries to glamorize off, that it's quite, unrealistic. And I think that's kind of that type of influencer type thing where there's this very unrealistic idea that you're just going to wake up one day, you're going to go off and get surgery, and next thing you know, you're going to wake up and you're looking like Kim Kardashian on the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's so unrealistic. The amount of times that her audience, and I don't know if they're just trying to goad her or if they seriously are as delulu as other people in thinking that she would ever be a candidate for weight loss surgery.
Well, I mean, she said the other day, she said, I can get weight loss surgery and I can get all my skin cut off and get breast implants. And, like basically she'd be a Kim Kardashian. And I'm like, you have no idea of what that would entail. So, I mean, it's just this kind of...
She wouldn't even heal from half of it with her raging diabetes. Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to cut skin off and then hope that would heal.
Yeah. So it's just the whimsical, fanciful ideas. Well, yeah, if I had a big bucket load of cash, I could go to the plastic surgeon and end up looking like Heidi Klum. But, that's, and I would probably have far better chance of looking like Heidi Klum than she would a Kardashian. But,
and in reality, a lot of that is not even feasible. I think, that's another sort of like misnomer that's sold to the public that, these people have had tweaks of plastic surgery throughout their entire careers and lives for years, these women, to maintain that type of aesthetic, not something that is gained in simple surgery overnight. And the surgeries have so many risks and complications that to talk about surgery is like, oh, just go off and have surgery, no problem.
Yeah.
It's for somebody as unhealthy as Chantel, that is not even it's not even a possibility, probability.
Yeah. No, she, yeah.
About a year to get surgery in Canada, says Pam, and you must go to counseling and lose weight. Yeah. Yeah. Chantel would never last a year into anything, except you two, because there's that. I find it so incredible because, these particular ones like Chantel, who really produce no really feasibly good content.
No.
I don't know how she's trying to get up.
She could make bank. I mean, if she squared up and, got it, tried to actually do the thing.
But then she would actually have to produce an interesting vlog and interesting content. I think people, I mean, there's something to be said for the sort of just, point and shoot. But I think after a while, people kind of get burnt on that content from their creator. I think people anticipate they're going to see a little bit more.
Well, I mean, just if she filmed her journey, an actual, true, honest journey, it would be worth the watch. But, doing a 2-hour water fast, and then, eating 7 pieces of roasted chicken, that's not a weight loss,
How much she did was fast from water for 7 hours.
I really don't think it was 7 hours. I mean, she has to, if she's awake, and I've observed this, is that she's gotta be eating something. And it can be pickles or, chips or, this kind of thing. And saying, oh, I haven't eaten for 16 hours. Well, I don't think at 16 you were asleep for 12. You woke up, turned on the camera, and ordered food. So that's what I think how it goes, because we've seen on some of her live streams, she can't go without eating.
Oh, absolutely. Her body needs to, doesn't know how to be in a calorie deficit at all.
No.
She has no control on that. So let's have a look at this ice cream real quick, and then we'll get close to wrapping up, because I hear me getting tired over here. So I take care of a 2-year-old all day.
Oh, Lord.
And it's busy work, as you probably know, since I know you're a grandma now.
Oh, yeah. And fixing to have another one.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, due in November.
Oh, my gosh. So you're just
the baby just turned 1. He was born on my birthday. And so they're teachers. So I have most of the summer off. But she's pregnant again. And it's going to be a little girl due in November.
Oh, well, that's so exciting. Congratulations. Yeah. That's very exciting. Yeah, little girls are fun. I take care of a 2-year-old, like I said, all day long.
Lord, let me tell you something. That's why I'm going back to the gym. That little boy, I'm telling you what, I have to take to the bed now. I got to take to the bed. He wears me out.
Oh, I'm telling you. I obviously, I'm working with a child that I'm there as in the capacity of as an RN. So not only am I taking care of the child all day, I have to chart everything that I do.
Gosh.
I have hours of charting every day. So it's a lot. But let's have a look at this ice cream real quick, because this is awesome. Oh, Chantel.
You were my voice when I couldn't speak. Baskin Robbins. We're at Baskin Robbins. So I got waffle cone.
Of course. Why not? Why not just get a little bit more sugar, Chantel?
Mm-hmm. Somebody looked up the calories on this, and I want to say it was over 600.
Well, she got a whole bag of gummy bears just hanging out on the top of the ice cream.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. When you put something like that in your hand, and that's just in your hand, there's only one place it's going to end up: in your mouth and into the stomach. She's not going to be eating half of it and putting it away for later, or most of us wouldn't think to want to eat an ice cream that size. Not in one sitting.
Pam says something about it was the color of her watch face. That's hilarious, by the way. But yeah, I'm not into, if I do eat ice cream, I get like the frozen yogurt kind of thing.
Right.
Something with those colors.
How many grams of sugar is in this thing?
I cannot remember how many they said. I think if best I remember, now I'm not talking about the gummy bears or the cone, just the ice cream. The sugar was not as much as I thought it would have been. Not to say it wasn't high, but
With the
I
gummy
just
bears
remember
and the cone.
well, that now is a whole nother thing. But
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's gonna have all of those gummy bears. That's just sugar. That's just sugar and jelly.
Sugar. Yeah.
And then she's gonna have that huge old waffle cone. God knows how many grams of sugar that thing is. Because it's a carb too.
Toodles, Catherine.
Gosh. Okay, keep going, Chantel. That thing's terrible.
1 scoop of cotton candy ice cream and a few gummy bears.
Thank you. We'll catch you soon, Catherine.
Yes.
All right. Is that what everyone's favorite ice cream is? We can be real naughty, everybody. Put your favorite ice creams in the chat. Mine's salted caramel. Anything salted caramel.
I like the moose tracks, frozen yogurt.
Oh, you do? I thanks for moderating,
They get
Catherine.
hard because of the cold.
We have there's a gelato that I found that's actually vegan, so it's not made with dairy, but it's like some type of chocolate. I can't go near that thing. I cannot go near that thing. I did not have a sweet tooth when I was in my younger years, but I've started to develop more as I've got older, and I have to really control myself. But and that's the thing. It's all about control at the end of the day.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
one thing that Chantel has none of is control.
Absolutely.
She has no control over her mouth sometimes. She has no control over her finances. She has no control over her health. She has no control over her diabetes type 2. She has no control over her eating habits. It's pretty wide, the lack of control.
Absolutely.
And I think for anybody to have such little control, maybe the one thing that she does feel that she can control is the food.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she controls it all right.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's, because every other aspect of her life is so out of control, really. Because when she uses YouTube, she has nothing to fall back on.
She's out of control with her food that she controls, if that makes sense.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's bizarre, but yeah.
Yeah.
She has control of it, but it's out of control.
Exactly. But it's the one thing that she feels like she controls is the food.
Yeah.
Because she gets real angry if she doesn't get her way with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I believe
like an addict
that started in childhood. Yeah.
And that's an addict behavior too. That's an addict. Addicts get mad like that. If an addict can't get their way and wanting to get whatever their fix is, they're going to get real mad.
Yeah.
Real mad. And it would be difficult.
Sorry. I just heard this, and I'm not saying this is just my personal opinion, so much addicted to food as it's goes back to the defiance. It's what she wants and she's going to eat it, and you're not going to tell her
right
that it's
she's highly addicted to that sugar and salt. It is overtaking her life.
Yes, but I think she's more addicted to the power she has of either eating it than, because it's all power play,
right.
and whatever their relationships, the law, whatever. I mean, if he truly loved her, to me, I can tell you right now, my husband would not put up with this.
Oh, this man doesn't care two figs about Chantel.
Yeah, it's just whatever, like you said during that fight, she was just so awful that I guess he just gives in so he don't have to hear it for the time that he's there.
Because he's not really got a relationship that he's invested in. So it's
No.
easier for him just to let her have her way because he don't really care.
Well, he doesn't care, and I don't think she's honest with him about what the effects or fallout is going to be if something happens truly major to her.
I always feel like he's going to lock the door and take his stuff out and let someone find her.
That's exactly what he'll do. I don't think he has much in that place, and he'll just pack his bag and walk out and shut the door.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much he's really going to care.
He's not going to pay for medical transport back to Canada.
Heck no.
How
are they going to get the money to that? Her visas certainly aren't going to spring for that one. The other thing that I feel really bad for in the whole of this situation is poor the cat.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I feel bad for.
Yeah.
Because the cat has no say in these two ridiculous adults and their whatever shenanigans they got going on.
Yeah.
You know, Salah is basically somebody who thought he could probably this is just my opinion, get a ticket to Canada to, with this person who probably did say something of the effect, because how else was she had to have something either that they were gonna, either that, or if it wasn't Canada, I think potentially she said, I'm going to come out your way and we're going to have a great channel and you're going to be able to come and travel with me to different parts of, wherever, like out by where they are. And, and he would be able to have opportunities to get out of Kuwait and do some fun stuff with somebody and potentially have some money from YouTube potentially. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that probably to him, I don't think necessarily there was Canada involved, because he said something about, wanting to travel more and this, that, and the other. And I just wonder if she sold him with the idea that they could make enough money and she would be able to, if he would play husband, he would be able to come off and travel and do his thing, and while they were there, or, sold him something that he could, see as some type of fun time. They came into some type of collaborative decision,
Well, I think in the beginning she is, I'm making 20K,
right,
a month, which she was not. But his friend Allah said that she had not even got over there yet, and he sold his car because he told Allah, I'm going to Canada. And Allah was like, it don't really work like that. He thought she was going to come over there and they enter this Miss Our marriage or whatever it is, and he was going to go right back to Canada with her.
But I would always think that potentially that did sometimes play. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I do wonder if the idea of coming to Canada was sold to him at all. There had to be something.
Yeah, I think that he had his international tender, I think, set to Canada, but I think because probably their immigration was easier, but I think it's taken time because the law has said through this that, they would say, no, you're not going to get over there. And he was saying, oh, she's telling me I will. She's telling me I will. And so I think it slowly began to dawn on him, I'm not. And so I think now it's just a matter of the money.
Right. She has to be giving him some type of cash, and maybe that's why she's begging so hard, because she needs to make the money to keep him happy so that she can stay in Kuwait.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, because he has to be getting something in return. He's not interested in this person.
No.
He was trying on winter jackets, says Pat. He could have been so stupid to think that he was a romance candidate.
I don't know necessarily he's got squirrels in the attic, but he's a few slices short of a loaf. I don't think he has logical thinking skills, because anybody would have, if you're going to be a scammer trying to get into a country, you would know how to do that better than the person from that country.
He didn't realize the person he thought he was trying to scam was a bigger scammer than he was.
Yeah.
He didn't realize that Chantel is even more duplicitous than he is.
Well,
Chantel is like, I am not ever leaving Kuwait. I have nothing to go back to Canada for.
Well, and he's in a precarious position because he's an immigrant in Kuwait.
Right.
And if she, and I'm sure she's threatened, if he doesn't, fall in line, do whatever, or if he tries to bail, she'll cause problems for him. But
they both can land the butts in jail if they go too
well,
crazy.
they'll just deport her. She's too much of a burden. Are you kidding? Just the medical bills, or ship her back to Canada, and she knows that. But they might ship him to Syria. So, he's, I think she's threatened that because we saw it with he who shall not be named, what she did to him,
right.
Being vindictive. So,
yeah.
But it's, I just wonder, are you not, he needs to understand how her health at the point she's at and he better have a plan ready.
Oh, I don't think these two don't plan much for anything. And I think that's part of where they're deep into this, situation, know, because I think, I mean, it's been concerning to watch somebody's health just deteriorate as much as hers has. There's nothing that she has, she's gone to this other country and it's not been an awakening for her. It's been like a continued slide downwards for Chantel.
And I really kind of thought when she first went over there, because she's so narcissistic and self-centered, I thought, you know what? She's probably going to buckle down and lose weight. Right. I mean, she's probably going to do the thing. And the first 3 months she was over there, I bet you she gained 30 or 40 pounds.
Right.
So, it wasn't long to.
Well, she's
know.
very sedentary. She's extremely sedentary. And I don't know if part of it isn't because she just probably feels like trash half the time.
Hey, Patsy. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's effort. And I'll have to say, I mean, look, I carried in groceries the other day, a few bags up the steps, and I was like, wow. And it just occurred to me, she's carrying about 100 grocery bags with her just walking. That's got to be. So, I mean, I'm sure she doesn't like to do it. No.
Well, we already know she's gaining massive amounts of weight because her wardrobe is becoming more and more limited. And she doesn't seem to have the finances to buy any new clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, she can't wear the seersucker every day. There's some clothes that we haven't seen in a long time on Chantel.
Yeah. Well, Adriana, I mean,
I should have gotten 15 of these dresses.
Yeah. He said he was born and raised in Kuwait. Some people say, well, I don't know. I don't care. But he's not a Kuwaiti citizen. So I think therein lies the rub. And from what I understand about Kuwait, if you're not a citizen, they can, boot you anytime they feel like it. So that's just my understanding.
Draconian laws about citizenship in Kuwait. It's not quite the same as other places.
And they deport them all the time. So that's what I'm saying is that if she caused enough ruckus, and if she comes out and says, "Oh, he's a scammer, he's scamming," he's not a productive person in their society, that may give them cause to say you got to go. But I understand his father has some.
Right, I was about to say he's more likely to be able to remain in Kuwait than she is. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's not a good situation for him, but he probably has a lot more ways to, manipulate the system out there because of people he knows than Chantel. Yeah. Chantel is on her own.
Yeah.
I am, and of course she's not learned any of the language. She's done nothing. It's like how to watch a person move to a foreign country and literally stagnate for 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
I
done
mean,
nothing. I mean, she cannot talk about being a world traveler. I mean, it's embarrassing. I lived in a foreign country as married to somebody in a foreign country, and I lived there for 7 years. I went to university, I learned the language, and I worked. And I
Yeah.
traveled. And I had a ton of friends. Social media had been in existence in those days. People would have found my life in Mexico fascinating.
yeah.
But she's done nothing.
No, and why would you not want to immerse yourself in the culture where you live? I mean,
Because she's no interest in anything outside of herself.
yeah. I mean,
she really has no interest in anything outside of just Chantel. And Chantel sitting around eating food, and Chantel sitting around and watching movies all day. I mean, what a boring life she has.
I couldn't, do it. I don't work, but my job, I keep a spotless house. I iron my husband's
I can never
clothes.
claim that.
I make his breakfast. I make his lunch. I make his supper. I pack his snacks
Aww.
every day. I do all that because to me, that's my job.
Right.
Because I don't have a job outside of the home. I
that's
do
a big
all
job. I wish I had somebody help me in my home more. Junebug does shite nothing throughout the day.
And I don't mind doing it because to me that's my responsibility. Now, if I had a full-time job, and when I did have a full-time job, it was different. But I don't expect. But she doesn't clean the house. She doesn't do laundry. She doesn't cook.
At least I have an excuse for my messy house, because I work 40 hours a week and I try to maintain a YouTube channel to some degree. And I take care of my dog.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's if she's all, my husband, I'm a wife. I mean, even if it's a farce, I think Salad would appreciate at least the pretense of, oh, hey, I keep a clean house and and I learn how to cook the meals or whatever, but the stove broke.
What do you mean? He loves that gravy and that roux she makes. What are you talking
poutine or whatever, and it's not even poutine because I don't have cheese curds over there.
He's given up, I think, on even cooking lately.
He's
gotten even lazier.
Well, that whole broken stove thing, and I'm thinking if it's that one eye that's shorting out, just pull the eye out, and you should be able to use the other three, or the oven. I don't know exactly what's wrong with it, but it's like, oh, it's broke. I can't use it. I need to have takeout. I don't understand. I love to cook, so I don't know.
Or oven for them.
Yeah, she says that it shorts or throws the breaker. One of the eyes is wonky on it, but just pull that eye out. Don't use that eye, but no, it's just like, and she's getting all this money, these daily goals. She just got paid. Why are you not fixing the oven?
Well, I thought that would have been included into the apartment. Why are they responsible for fixing?
No, that's their stove. They had to bring
their own stove in.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, why not get it fixed? But, I mean, my husband could fix it, but.
Because the law obviously is useless because he doesn't know anybody who can. He doesn't even know how to get an appliance guy over. I had to have an appliance guy over recently for some stuff.
Maybe they don't want anybody in the apartment.
Well, that's the other thing that I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she won't answer the door, and she whispers when people when they come to the door. That's what I'm thinking.
She's not really supposed to be in that apartment, and so if anyone were to come in, then she would have to leave for the day. So I would have to be the one to be there, and all her stuff. I don't know. There's something going on. Something definitely.
Yeah. Pull her bulging after.
Oh God, the eye is. I mean, that's why she's hitting stuff when she drives, man, because the eyesight gone.
Look, it's just truly by the grace of God she hadn't had a wreck over there. Look at that.
She just.
I don't know why she can't. Close your mouth. Close your mouth.
The noise. It must be a feeder content.
I don't know. she just kind of eats like that. But she dusts this cone, man. She dusts it. Takes it down to the nub.
She finishes this whole thing, I'm assuming. I cannot believe it's covered with that many gummy bears. I mean, I'm just.
I had to take them off because they were hard, because they were cold.
Well, yeah, they get cold from the ice cream, Chantel.
Yeah.
You're supposed to eat them up quickly.
Yeah.
That's why it's not good to get gummy bears on ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
What scoop? Yeah, hey, Ava, it's just one scoop. That's why it's empty.
One scoop, that's why it's empty? What's empty? Why is it empty? That's not empty, Chantel. It's got a full scoop of ice cream in there.
That's what I'm saying. I think she got another scoop because you'll see as she eats it. To me, that's.
Well, I saw the lady get that spoon and scoop out another flavor that put at the bottom before she got the other one. It looked like a vanilla one that the lady scooped initially.
Well, the more she eats it, and you see, I mean, unless Kuwait Baskin Robbins just, their scoops are ginormous, that was more than one scoop.
I know, the noises are terrible.
Well, Pam, if you hadn't watched her eat the fried chicken, don't do it, girl. Don't do it.
I think she deleted that video. You have to go and see it on another channel.
Well, don't watch it on Clip Channel or nothing else because it will kill you.
Oh, I can't do some of her eating sounds. It's just watching her sit there, just slowly eat and make those noises, and just her head hanging over the top of the table. She reminds me of this little Ziggy cartoon back from the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
She looks like Ziggy.
Just
hanging there. She looks like.
Yeah.
Hard ass gummy bears. Let me put them over here.
Lying about ice cream, asking for more. Oh yeah, she turned off the camera for a minute. I tell you, she got couple of bottom scoops for that one went on top. God, 3 hours. 3 hours of watching this. And I've heard she's gotten upset about some of her folks. Now, obviously, we've streamed for a little bit, but we're catching up over here. But Chantel is doing this every day. Who has got the time to want to watch this individual for that many hours? She says nothing.
No. And eats.
And eats.
Blocks people, eats. And seals.
Some of the AI summaries, you just should go back and do the AI ask summaries because they're always great on these things. What was the other thing it say on this? It's so good. Let's see to summarize the video. What else does it say here? It's a great machine because the video is a casual live stream where Foodie Beauty goes on a walk to get ice cream, bringing her viewers along. They stop at Baskin Robbins where she orders a scoop of cotton candy ice cream and a waffle cone with gummy bears. Essentially, it's a relaxed glimpse of her daily life with humorous moments and interactions.
Yeah.
So what else is in here? Oh, she's got. Oh, Salah has neck pain.
I think she's. He may have it. I think she said she had it. Something about their pillows, and then she has him order Indian food.
Well, I was about to say now we got Indian food going on.
And it's some food.
We get to see the Indian food. Oh Lord! Oh,
look at that! Look at that!
Oh God, Chantel.
That's probably all I should have.
And this is just after for me.
You want one of these?
She
Oh,
ate
this is
all
mine.
of that
This is yours.
ice
You can have
cream.
biryani rice if you want.
Yeah. And then had this.
You can have samosa.
You want the white or biryani?
What the
which
heck
one do you
with
want?
that rice?
Okay, you want a samosa?
No.
Yeah.
I like the cheese and only.
How does she even have the room for anything after that ice cream?
I don't know.
If I had had that ice cream, I'd be done for the day.
Yeah. Look.
That would
But,
be
yeah.
enough food almost for me for the day, I feel like. It's just
Yeah.
that's a lot of food and calories.
And she hits that food like a rabid cur dog. I mean, she tears it up.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
And her pants, she looks terrible. She's so pale.
Mm-hmm.
She's extremely pale. Wow.
And swollen.
Is that really her color? She has like no pallor.
Mm-mm.
She is like ghost white.
Oh, I know. Well, she's never been out in the sun.
Well, she's gonna have real issues because she's gonna be vitamin D deficient.
Oh, I'm sure she is. It seems like in the
And
past.
so her
that-
immune system gonna be shot.
Yeah, that she was supposed to be taking vitamin D supplements. Seems like, which
Yeah.
I'm sure she does.
Her pallor is bad.
Well, and that's with filters. I mean, if she didn't have those, her skin quality is really bad.
I mean, I can't say I look like a supermodel sitting here with the
Well, I can tell you, my skin don't look like hers, and it does not. But of course, I wash my face. Yeah,
Well, I could say I wash my face twice a day because you
Yes.
have to kind of.
yeah,
do
and
those
take
things.
care, moisturize, and all that. And she
Yes.
doesn't do that.
The
So
skin is an organ; it's reflective of your health, and
yes.
hers knuckles scream.
Mm.
Heart
Well,
disease, diabetes.
I watched somebody was doing a retro on her from back in the villa, and her hands were not near as big as they are now, because I made a conscious effort to look. I mean, her hands and wrist and all, I mean, it's just marked difference.
And this,
Even
have you
though
seen this?
yeah, but she weighs like what she did almost in the villa, supposedly. But it's just remarkable,
Yeah,
the
she's
difference.
gosh. This food. Let's keep going, Chantel. Just take out your kidneys fully, girl. Jeez.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'll have a small.
You'll be hungry later, so no, eat the big one.
Listen to that. God.
Put my spoon.
There's spoons here, clean ones.
I forgot it, Jenny.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
You sure? It's a lot of.
I think the people who send her money to buy this food should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe they're trolls, but I tell you, I couldn't be responsible.
Even
for
if they're
something.
trolls, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's like somebody, I can't remember whose stream I was watching. They said that's like somebody saying, I'm an alcoholic, and the chat going, oh, here's $20, go get a fifth of Jack.
Yeah.
Or,
It's
go
no
get you some
different than
drugs.
like, I'm a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's money. Go get a balloon.
Yeah. To me, it's not any different, but
No, it's not. It is not. And her audience who supports these individuals with these things, these people should be ashamed of themselves, but they generally are shameless individuals. And like I said, some of these people might be struggling with the same issues she is. And so they feel, it makes them feel better. Like, oh,
a
well, I'm
kindred
not
spirit.
alone.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. Somebody else. And they're worse than I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know?
agree. But I mean, she said, I want the small.
And the fetish people, of course, are in
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah. The fetish. But she said, "Oh, I'll have the small," and he said, "No, you'll be hungry later," and gives her the family size one.
Which is just because her body needs so much to maintain that size.
Well, she has stretched that stomach out.
Right.
You know, so she, has to have so much to fill it.
Right.
But I'm like, well, we all get hungry later. It might be 2 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. Put the leftovers in the refrigerator and have it the next day. But he's like, no, you'll be hungry later. Here, I think he's just trying to put her in a diabetic coma so she'll shut up and go to sleep.
Bothered by her for something else later on. So he just wants to content, happy, and asleep.
Yeah. Exactly. That's not helping her.
That rice. I mean, anytime we think about rice, I just think glycemic index. I just think that's a little ball of sugar sitting there.
Yeah.
Rice is no better than pasta.
Yeah.
I don't know why people think rice is slightly better than pasta.
I think, was it a third of a cup is a carbohydrate count, I believe. And I mean, that's why I tell people the amounts of rice that she eats. I mean, she on that big serving spoon she eats out of, I think she can probably put about a fourth of a cup of rice on one spoonful, and she'll eat nonstop. So, a diabetic diet, as we've said before, it's portions of certain things. And I'm not saying some things may trigger some people's sugar more than others. It's all individualized, but just as a generic blueprint is, you have so many carbohydrates per meal, and you measure your food out. I think it's a cup and a half of watermelon, a third of a cup of rice, a third cup of beans.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing. But, it's got to be that amount. But, and, she's not doing sliding scale. So it's just this.
Chantel would not know how to carb count. Chantel would not understand a sliding scale. She barely copes with the medication she has. She's really, she does not care about her health. It's wild.
No.
All right, let's watch a little bit more of this. And I gotta start. My watch is telling me I need to get ready for bed. Sad. I get up so early.
You starving?
I cannot believe the sight of the food.
Thank you, hon.
Oh, yes, he exploded.
I'm gonna grab it.
Just
yeah,
one palmful. Yeah, that went to the wayside after 5 minutes.
This is the large.
She has. I mean, this is what astounds me is I mean, she's obviously hiding with this.
Oh yeah.
It's just Chantel, really. Nobody's fooled. Nobody thinks you're practicing any faith.
No. No.
Not when the first thing that I heard you say was an F-bomb. Nobody thinks you're practicing anything except for gluttony.
No, there's no aspect. And, that's her walk, that's, but.
This is a really sad, she's just worse as I come. Every time I come back, she's just got worse.
Yeah.
And the shape of her face, this is what's killing me. I don't know if it's these filters or what it is, but why does she has such an indentation here on her? I've never seen this type of facial shape on anybody before.
Yeah, well, I think her filters like pull her face like long wise to try to thin it out. But yeah, I mean, she has those. Well, her cheeks are so big, and I think now with that undercap, it's pushing the fat forward on her face.
But why does she have like such a distinct brow arch here, and then it's like literally her face looks like a pin for a bowling alley. Like
Yeah.
a little thing at the top. Like, what is this? What is this indentation?
She has those indents because her forehead, she's that Tammy Slayton's coming in nicely, and then her cheeks are so big, and then she's got that pressure from that undercap pushing it forward. So I think that makes it more pronounced.
She has gotten big.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And these are with filters.
Yeah.
I mean, Chantel, your knees aren't going to take it, girl.
Not my seer sucker. In here? Curry stuff?
Of course, she
I'm gonna dump it all on
can't
this
not
place.
eat out of the direct. I mean, already, as a registered dietitian, you know this is going to be a fail on the meal because she hasn't portion controlled anything out on a plate.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me like little sidebar, and I don't know if this is the same place. They filmed one time, or Salah did. They went to some Indian restaurant that's close to their place. And I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum, and I love me a good hole in the wall, some of the best food I've ever had. But this place was absolutely filthy.
Oh.
I would not have eaten anything from this place, but they're cheap. And I think that's where anytime she eats the Indian food, that's where they get it.
She must spend a lot of money on food because like I said, if she has a goal of $100 a day times 30, that's $3,000 a month that she's expecting just in donations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's through YouTube, then YouTube's going to take a third of that.
Yeah.
So maybe she gets just over 2 if it was through YouTube. You know?
Well, when she started them, it was for a specific thing. Like, this is our goal to do this. Well, she wasn't doing them, and people were getting upset with her. So now she just says for future visas. But she just like goes out and eats. It's not anything. I'm sure Kuwait is a beautiful country, but all we've seen is the slummier areas and garbage, and
all we see is that dirty looking couch, that the plaque sitting on the couch, and that non-functioning television set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Why do they even have that TV on the wall?
Probably for looks. They don't watch it.
I was about to say, it doesn't work, does it? She doesn't have any connection to it.
Well, she said she can plug it in and it works, but they air hyphens watch TV in their bedroom. So I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure she's laying in bed watching television or her phone. She's all over the place watching everybody. So,
Chantel, this is terrible.
Yes, ma'am.
No, just wait.
Thanks, babe, for going.
All right, finish it out, Chantel, because I can tell I'm yawning over here, and I don't want to do that to my audience. Oh, Lord, no!
Look at that. And she thinks it's cute. Look at her.
I'm not going to be hungry later. I'm going to bed.
Sorry, guys. Miss Miller. Yeah.
Come here, veggies.
That Miss Miller, is she like this person's about to pop into the most culinary delight, and the teeth, that's she really just says F you to the diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Diabetes, who is her name?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kidneys, what are you?
Mm-hmm. Heart, who cares? Cardiac diet, out the window.
I mean, technically, as we know, there's no such thing as a diabetic diet per se, but this isn't definitely it.
Honestly, for her she needs what I'd call heart healthy diet, a renal diet, and a diabetic diet. And a dietitian, a good one, could do that.
She needs to be on a piece of steamed fish and some steamed vegetables, and that's it. She don't even get a carb. The vegetables are the carb.
But she, she wouldn't follow it. Like if she came, could I do it? Absolutely. But she would not be compliant. and I would fire her. I mean,
I already
that's
know
just,
I can follow strict diets because I was a vegan for years and stuff. So it was like,
God
you
bless
know,
you.
so I already
Not me.
know I can follow dietary restriction things, you
Yeah.
know, especially when it comes to things, because I understand so much about how food affects the body. I think when you do, and I know you can attest to this, you think about what you put in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going
Absolutely.
to come from these garbage half the time videos on YouTube from a bunch of, you know, podcast bro influencers who really don't have a clue about what they're talking about. They just say things that sound cool for effect, you
Yeah.
know, but half of it's
Well,
garbage what they're saying.
with her renal issues, she needs to be eating a low sodium, lower protein diet.
Right. There's
Um,
certain protein. There's a real thing about the protein. She
mhm,
does not. I mean, I can't not believe the size of that meal. I got to go back
mhm,
to that thing that she just showed me. I cannot believe that. Look
mhm,
at that.
mhm.
That
Look at her
is,
face. She thinks that's so cute.
it's not even cute.
Mm-mm.
It's just, it's self-sabotaging and nihilistic.
Mhm.
It's just that what that says to me is, with that smile, I don't like myself. There's
Yeah.
nothing about me that I actually like. There's nothing about me I respect. There's nothing about me I care about. I care nothing about anything except my addiction to food.
I don't know if when she was young she had some kind of valid, like, look at, I mean, that to me, I see a child's face like, look at this, isn't this funny? Look at all this food I'm gonna eat. I
No.
don't know.
Oh,
I mean, I
I'm
don't.
gonna make you guys so mad after I eat this. Not
Yeah.
really. I don't even feel mad nor sad. I just think
No.
it's not a message that needs to be shared with people when you
Yeah.
are struggling with type 2 diabetes, to be having a bunch of that crap sitting on a pile of rice.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I said that's what just twerks me, man, is just that, oh, I'm eating like this, and oh, my sugars are fine. That's what
No,
she
they're
said.
not. That's
No.
absolute garbage. That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
an
lie.
absolute lie.
And the thing is, I think it's the next day after this, she talks about how this food tore her stomach up and her bathroom escapades because of it.
Oh God. Ugh. I mean, why is she sharing that with people?
She's made, when she started doing the mukbangs and getting some notoriety and subscribers and all that, but I mean, she fell into such a stroke of luck because she got paid to do what she loves to do, and therefore to get paid she has to do what she loves to do. It's a vicious cycle, and this is her only vocation. She's not qualified to work anywhere, maybe a phone job somewhere, but it's not going to be enough.
I would never hire Chantel for anything.
No.
She is somebody who would be a dreadful employee.
But she uses that as an excuse. Well, I've got to eat because that's where I get my views and make money.
Yeah, but this isn't even nutrition, though.
Well, I mean, it's all
this is where people have a misconception, I think. And you probably understand this as a registered dietitian. There's a difference between just filling your mouth and your stomach with whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's actually eating food. And it's not that there isn't things about a good curry meal. I enjoy a good curry meal, but not to this portion.
Yeah.
This is
insane. I love Japanese curry. I'm not a fan of the Indian curry, but I love the Japanese curry. But I will literally cut up a stew pot of vegetables.
Right.
And put the curry in it, and it's low calorie, low fat. I put a little bit of rice, but I mean the vegetables that are in there Yeah, I mean, you can eat she wanted to. She could eat a portion. I'm not talking about the rice, but the curry that big of that, to do that kind of thing. Because my daughter's pescatarian, so I have to sometimes do some vegetarian dishes.
Didn't she say that's paneer? Isn't that the cheese?
I think it's butter chicken paneer.
Well, the paneer is like a cheese curd.
What is butter chicken? Is it butter chicken curry?
With paneer? Because paneer, I believe, is the cheese curd. If I'm correct.
I just think I remembered her saying something about paneer and then butter chicken. I can't remember what she got, but it's a moot point. Cheese, okay, yeah.
Cheese, yeah, it is cheese. Yeah,
Okay.
paneer is the cheese. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like a cheese curd. It's like Indian cheese curd.
I thought the green stuff she got was the cheese, and this stuff was the chicken, but it might be cheese.
I think this is the paneer. Because I do like Indian food.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not an Indian fan.
Yeah,
no offense. It's just,
and then the chicken might have been. I would have to look. I don't think the paneer. Gosh, it's just cheese. It's just a lot of cheese. Great, a lot of fat.
yeah.
Oh, Chantel, 2 forks and a cup, more like it. This thing is just huge, though. I mean, this is literally for like 4 people.
Yeah.
These are meant to be shared amongst a family.
Oh yeah, it's a family.
You're supposed to have a little bit of, different things,
Mm-hmm.
This is just, oh, shit.
It's mind-boggling. Yes, I know.
Nothing
and
is
then
ever going to improve.
she had fried samosas with it too.
Oh God. It's just, is there anything else she eats? How much does she eat of this? Oh God.
Ugh, finger licking, my God, that's nuts.
And I haven't even sped her up.
Look at that.
Why? She's just desperate to put anything out, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I was Chantel's age, I was finishing out my nursing degree. It was my second degree.
I was finishing my bachelor's.
Right. I had one. This is what I don't understand. See this on the face? What is this?
Yeah.
This is what I never can understand. What the filter going on here?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What is like?
It's the fat. It's fat up, fat down, and this is just her temple area, which is like a pause.
And obviously, she's put she's got it on the eyelid.
Well, like around the lower part of her face, it's almost like it's indented now, like a type of cellulite or something. It's just got these little dents, and I think it's that.
Oh yeah,
undercap is just pushing. It couldn't be comfortable. I wouldn't like wearing it.
I can't even imagine like the excoriation. I mean, I guess not, but I mean, they've tried to get her to wear this correctly because that woman tried to correct it that one time in that store in Kuwait.
Yeah.
And she didn't like it.
Showed that chin. She's like,
Yeah, she literally thinks this is going to hide. Like, this makes me look like I don't have 3 chins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But obviously you're embarrassed, Chantel.
Yeah.
Because if you weren't embarrassed, why would you hide yourself? She used to not be so embarrassed. She used to have more of that, overtly sexual, barely wearing anything type clothing with a very large body.
Lord Jesus,
and not
yes,
care.
All
right. All right, Chic Bows, you've got anything of advice? Because we've obviously been here for a while. The filters, yeah. I don't know if I can watch her eat anything else. What advice? And it's been a blast, and I'm so glad. And we'll make sure we get together one day and do an actual mukbang since we were just catching up with Chantel today.
I guess, like I told you before, just this is not proper. This is not appropriate. If you have high blood pressure and or type 2 diabetes, make sure you're getting your kidneys checked out. insist on it.
Right.
That's just my main thing, because I think that goes maybe sometimes unnoticed.
Right. And I was about to say the same thing. I think the kidneys are the forgotten organs.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's,
you will not be forgetting it if you're in dialysis.
yeah.
There's
you
no
don't-
end to dialysis. It's like Chantel's sort of baffling desire to lose her CPAP.
Yeah, Yeah.
She's never going to lose that CPAP. You
No.
should be grateful you have a CPAP, Chantel, because that's probably the one thing that's keeping you half alive over there.
Well, that's a whole nother, thing. She's had it how many years? She's never been retested. She doesn't clean anything.
Right. She just gets the
so-
parts off a team.
Yeah, getting her parts off a team.
That thing
But-
is going to be nasty and filthy.
My husband has one, and I mean, he runs that, what was it, ozone thing through it, and he soaks it in vinegar
Right.
water and all this, and gets the new stuff in, and all
Yes.
of that. And
Absolutely.
and I don't, other than swapping the hoses, I think because either a strap breaks or something, but
Right.
she's never cleaned that machine. I think at one time the hose was like black or gray.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
That's
and
so nasty.
she has whatever her lung issues are, then she's just sucking that moldy air right in there.
Oh.
But that's my only thing, is that
Ugh.
this is not appropriate, and make sure you take care of your kidneys.
I mean, I've had literally where people have had equipment like that and their houses are so unkept. There's been maggots and stuff in machines.
Oh, you don't even want to know.
I mean, we've seen them inside on people's bodies too. So, I mean, what can I say?
Cockroaches. Yeah.
Oh,
Bed
yeah.
bugs.
Oh, and it's coming with them with their equipment when they take it to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, folks, I mean, for most of us, probably I say I'm a terrible housekeeper, but I try to keep stuff as clean as I possibly can. Like my kitchen's a mess. Yeah, I know. It will slide because I worked all day and then I live streamed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have an excuse, but I assure you, your kitchen is 5 million times cleaner than Chantal's.
I sometimes wonder.
Oh, I don't. Now, there's a difference between, I have some dishes, and it's just filth.
Right,
There's a
right.
difference.
Because I really don't cook in my oven. I will be honest, because I don't have time. I get a food service to my house. That's my one thing that I do, because
Well,
I know I have no time to cook. And I
Yeah,
want to
absolutely.
eat healthily. And so I have meals that are very portion controlled that are delivered to my home, and I know exactly what I'm getting in my macros and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Chantel, really has a clear understanding. It's and,
Well, she had that meal service, that was controlled portions, and then she ended up eating like all of them in one day. I think it was like a week's worth, and she ate all of them in one day. So, she knows, but
she'd rather eat an entire plate of paneer.
yeah. Yeah.
She's all happy. And now she's gonna comb out. This is a great picture. Oh, or over here.
Ugh.
Oh, Chantel. I cannot believe that Indian meal.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe she live streams for hours every day.
Yeah. Well, and the next day when she's talking about her GI issues with the meal, if I'm not mistaken, she's sitting there talking about how she had fasted for 16 hours, but she had Santa Fe sauce in the corner of her mouth. And somebody in her chat goes, "What's that in your mouth?" And she goes, oh, and like wipes it off. But that she had filmed a Santa Fe mukbang and saying that she had not eaten in all these hours, but she had just filmed.
Lies.
Yeah.
I just find it shocking that people would send money. They have to be trolls. I can't imagine. I mean, just if you've got the time to watch Chantel all day long, what type of job do you have that makes you enough money to send Chantel money to eat food?
Well, I think a lot of them don't have the money, but I think they feel like they have something, a kindred spirit or whatever. But like I said before, she's got that small community and she's just tapping them out, and there's, they can't do it all. They can't do the cameos, the merch, the gold funds, the cat shams, all this stuff, they just can't keep it up. Super chats, all that stuff. I mean, they just can't do it.
No, she doesn't have a large enough audience base to expect that type of continuous, money coming in. And she is one of many a channel that is asking for donations. And probably some of these other channels actually have real information that people find useful. Chantel you don't leave a Chantel video and think, gosh, I really feel good. Thank you for sharing that with me. I really learned something interesting.
Or just the comedy, some of the reaction channels I watch. I mean, and the chat, the chat is hysterical and you laugh and it's, even though her content is infuriating, they make it fun.
Right.
But, with her, there's always some tragedy in Teardrop's life. And, and I don't know if the other people are trolls, they're woe is me kind of stuff. And then she's just hateful and she just,
she's awful to her audience. I mean, it's real negativity. And I know tonight we kind of got into some serious topics and some people find it, tough to hear. And I understand that to, have to, really take the time to reflect on how personal habits and actions that you do can cause, long-term effects for your health. It can be a heavy topic to hear. So much easier to hear somebody say, oh, just drink this magic elixir and you're going to have all your problems solved, or do this one little thing and it's going to be the answer to every one of your, health prayers.
Yeah. What happened to that? What's that stuff she used to drink?
Oh, the unicity?
Yeah. That just kind of dropped by the wayside.
I guess that went to the MLM wayside.
Yeah. Well, I think from one of her merch stores, people still hadn't gotten their merchandise that they bought. There's issues with that. And I don't know if you've seen
I wonder how they manage all that stuff. I think you do have to do your own kind of management of that stuff.
Yeah. I watched No Madness Live, and Shelly says, her merch, if somebody has a problem and they email her, she gets on the phone with them immediately and like, hey, what's the holdup? And she's just like, oh, really? That's awful. She don't care. She's got her money. She's like, she don't care if they ever get it.
Right.
So,
and Chantel is not worried about the end consumer at all. It's because her brand is already trash anyway. So what difference is one more, Chantel's not going to give it the care that, that it requires.
No. And
I mean, to really do it in a way, hers is a cash grab. It's a cash grab.
Yeah,
the merch looked terrible and it's a cash grab.
Well, her, back, I think it was in April that Pat was talking about it, that Anime Sucks, that feeder weirdo was sending her all that money. He had a GoFundMe up. I guess I didn't know that, Pat, that it was his mother's credit cards was what he was using. I think he's 27.
Oh, was this the Anime Sucks?
Yeah, and he assaulted his mother, and she got a restraining order for him to stay away from her and his pets.
Oh my gosh.
And so he was doing a GoFundMe, and somebody mentioned to her, hey, Anime Sucks had a GoFundMe. Are you going to send him? And she's like, no, I don't have any money to send him.
Oh, I
After
always
he-
do. That's wild. I always wonder when you see these people pop up and they're sending her huge amounts of money like that. Just like, who with that type of deep pocket would be that fascinated with Foodie Beauty?
Well, I mean, look, what's Shani and Rev? They were big, and they had the money, but they blew through the money. And I think SJM and it might have been his own money or somebody else, but it's they're just not really. I don't know them personally, but
Right.
they're not on the upper echelon of people.
Well, anybody who's 27 years old is still with his mother, taking his mother's credit cards to send money to this individual on YouTube. There's something deeply inherently wrong with that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not so much if you're an older child and you're living with your parents to save money for a house or, something like that.
No, that's not the problem. The fact that he was taking his mother's credit cards while
and I don't guess has a job and and just just weird, but I just wonder if sometimes she doesn't I mean, you have to look at the scale. I mean, she has 400 500 people, I guess you'd say supporters, but if you added all the reaction channels and the haters, I mean, there's got to be 8,000 to 10,000. And I'm like, if it was me, I'd be going, if there's 8,000 to 10,000 people that do not like me and I only have 400 supporting me, maybe it's me,
I think it's a lot more than that. I saw another big creator just release a video about Amberlynn and Foodie Beauty today. Like somebody who was doing stuff in the MLM and talking about scammers, and her audience has been asking. So Girl World is still, strangely enough, being discovered by the rest of YouTube.
Yeah.
Which I find fascinating considering how long this community's been around.
Yeah. And, I don't hate Chantal. I don't hate anybody. I don't think she's a very
too
good
much emotion for somebody we really don't know.
Yeah, and she has no effect on my life other than it's a cautionary tale, but she has done and said some absolutely horrendous things, and I don't think she's a good person. That's just my thing, but it's just. Like Pulpy says, it's just my stories. I'm not, what she does infuriates me. The cat thing infuriated me. But, at the end of the day, it's her life. It's not mine. Thank the Lord. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think for me as a sort of like a content creator and coming from a medical background, it's really for me, just kind of reminding people that, these are real people, and this food is going to have a real effect on her, and not in a good way.
Yeah,
it's not cute as much as she thinks it's cute to hold up a plate of food and funny. And at the end of the day, I don't think she's really laughing. I'm sure she is a much sadder person once that camera's turned off. I'd be curious to see her with the camera off.
I think she's just as vile with it off as she is with it on. But there's a lot of people in the community that have lost weight, they're exercising, they're and they'll say it's because of her. Right. I saw that and I don't want to be like that. And I'm not talking about her personality or that kind of, just the issues with her weight and her health. Right. So that's probably the only good thing that she's done, because she hasn't contributed back in any way, shape, or form to anybody anyhow.
Oh, absolutely. She's not. And somebody mentioned this, and that was a good point. And I'll just finish it up here, and we'll finish it up. She's never done she did a fundraiser for the cat, but she doesn't really do fundraisers because we don't. those funds don't really go to any of the charities that she says. For all the live streams, and I don't think I have a big enough community yet, but I've started to consider it. Like, if I were to do a live stream and raise money for a charity, what charity would it be? Probably would be the shelter that Junebug came from. How would I then get the money over to them? How would I, would I just be able to donate it once I raised it? Is that able just to then be straight donated over to that, the shelter that Junebug came from?
Yeah.
The only time
Well-
I raised money was to pay for an attorney.
Yeah. Well, to be
and I paid for an attorney.
a group of like haters, girl world will hate. If there's somebody that in this community that's struggling, that needs a pet, a good cause, whatever, they step up, and they step up big.
Right.
And and hateful people don't do that.
Right.
She's never, like, this money that she got for this cat, she could say, hey, I'm going to donate it. This is what I got in my PayPal. I'm going to go take this down here, and next month, this amount I'm going to donate. But she is absolutely not going to do that.
Absolutely not.
So, I mean, say what you want to about our community, but and we all have different religions, different political views, different backgrounds, but we all, I feel like the girl world community cares for one another.
Right.
In
and
a way that a
you
lot
guys
of them
have always kept reminding me to come on back, and I try to circle back. Amber Lynn's too boring for me.
God, I can't handle her.
But
but I appreciate
circle
you
back
doing
around
this and letting me drag you back momentarily, because I just felt like something needed to be said. It was just I was at my wit's end.
Well, I'm glad I gave you an opportunity to kind of get it vented out here and share the time with me, because it's been so much fun catching up. And I hope we get to catch up more over the summertime. It's been a blast. I'm starting to get, I don't want to be like a Chantel and lose my energy on everybody.
Don't start sealing over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, Junebug is sealing at the moment and on the couch, but she gets the opportunity. Junebug just had a little cancer removed from her foot. So yeah, we've had recently. So I mean, that's what I think about responsibility with pets. Having her little cancer thing, that was not a cheap adventure.
No, it's not.
And biopsy, and I mean, which was good news and everything. But I just don't see that. She is so performative. I don't even know how her audience is, unless it's just them enjoying the proximity to Chantel, and part of it is that they have to make monetary donations for her to even recognize, or even like do any type of like recognizing of her audience, because it's like I just I'm gonna let Judge Mathis say what she is. Hold on. I'm gonna let him say it.
I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
God. I got that for Tim specifically, but Chantel is definitely up there now.
It applies. Yeah.
It applies.
Yeah.
Because Tim is the king of dry bacon. Tim is wild.
Well, I'll have to do my continued. I've been listening to things while I clean and stuff, but I mean, when I tell you, just like.
Oh, Tim is a character. He's 3 previous wives. Unpaid child support. Just to the list goes. I've obviously tried to get rid of my channel multiple times. Copyright struck me so many times. I'm surprised I'm still here. Honestly. He struck me so many times. I mean, that's why I'm surprised I'm found anywhere in the algorithm nowadays. Because Tim, like, is wanted rid of me, and because he can't get rid of me, because I reverse psychology Tim, and basically had an attorney tell him that he had to leave me alone and send him a cease and desist and stuff. Now it's like he gets so mad because he can't take my videos down. He can't strike me, and he has to deal with me and my stuff being put out there. And so he gets real mad. And sometimes he says he films videos and then he deletes, he like doesn't upload them. And I guess he's probably ranting. The other day he said that anybody who went to college, because he is a pea brain. And nobody should listen to people. Yeah, because he gets upset because I say in my videos that he has no expertise to talk about any topic, which is true because he left school at 16. So
well, I mean, he doesn't have a vocation. I mean, it's not like he's a plumber or electrician.
No, he has zero vocation. He used to sell oil change coupons door to door. He was one of those, and then he didn't ever give his kids health insurance. And if the rent was due, it was time to move. That's what he says.
Well, I have an ex that sounds like him. So,
yes. Well, Tim's got like 3 exes.
Well, no, that one deadbeat was enough for me. But, yeah, so that trigger. Well, I'll say that.
Oh yeah, he'll trigger everything from everybody on every way. Oh, and then he's on the carnivore diet. That's why we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna get together, hopefully one night, and go over Tim's diet. Because Tim's gonna lose all the weight in the world because he's going carnivore again.
Okay.
Yeah. And he does, and he just knows so much about health and stuff. Because he watched the video from Dr. Berg or somebody on YouTube, and now he's an expert.
No. The chiropractor? Is that the one?
Probably. Somebody. He'll be listening to Dr. Ken Berry and whoever else.
Oh, that one that's a chiropractor that does all that medical or nutrition stuff. And
yes, there's a bunch of them. And it's just all BS-ery. But, he's the colon cancer is incoming. On all of these people.
All of them incoming.
Chantel's colon is probably just one big polyp at this point.
Oh gosh. Well, I will definitely look forward to that. So
we'll have a blast on that one because we'll get a big audience and we'll just roast one of his cooking sessions. I mean, all the man does is grill meat. So.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
One time he actually forgot he was doing something on it. He almost set his camper on fire outside because he walked away for like 20 minutes and this thing was like flaming on the side of his camper.
Gosh.
And then he got naked in front of the fridge and posted it. I still can't to this day with the fridge gate.
Is he a drinker?
He was, yes.
Oh, okay.
How did you know?
Well, usually if you're nude in front of somebody, it involves alcohol. So
he panned his camera, and he has this very reflective refrigerator. We'll finish out here. This is a funny story. And he pans the camera around, and he's just completely stark naked. And he posted it on his channel.
And
people had to tell him he needed to take it down. I have a video on it. It's one of the first ones I had released ever on him. You have to check out the Christian YouTuber who went naked. Because he says he's a Christian. And he does these Sunday devotionals called Crushing It for Christ.
That's another thing that that shielding under religion thing that
absolutely
twists me in all different directions.
And those of us who grew up in the South, we know a thing or two about it.
Yes. You know, I just don't like anybody using that as a, be it
Oh, he definitely.
Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Jew, I don't care. I don't like that. Flashing it for Christ.
Oh yeah, the crushing it for Christ. Thank you, Sammy. Yeah, Tim is my specialty. I'm like one of the OG reactors to Tim. I have to stick almost with Tim. I know some of my audience is panning out on him. They're so irritated with him. Like my audience can't even remain. I actually had someone post today that they love my channel, but he annoys them so much. That's it. They're having to dip out on all Tim content. It was the final straw was watching him cuss about trying to lock a bike up. That was it. They were just like, I can't take it anymore. So,
Yeah.
oh, he's bad. He's and how these people, I think the thing that is most astounding to anybody with a rational mind is how do they get such a big platform on YouTube?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Well, he does the things of him that I have watched, and I'm, you know, like I said, I'm new to him, dipping my toe in the pond, but he seems very full of himself and like he's God's gift.
Oh
to
yeah.
women. I may be wrong, but
Oh no, that's a pretty good assumption there. That's a pretty good estimation of Tim. Yes, absolutely. Oh, he's just he screams. I mean, he's definitely in the in my opinion, just education purposes only, definitely lives in narcissistic personality world.
Yeah.
Got a lot of the
Yeah.
traits. A lot of the traits. And part of it is the striking of things like my channel and stuff is like, you know, where he just cannot take any type of criticism. You put one bad comment in about his, you know, anything he does, or even give him a suggestion on his video, you will be deleted and gone and banned from the kingdom of Tim. That's it. You're gone and banished.
Well, I think anybody that uses the platform of religion, that it's not an actual and true thing in their life, is they know that they do that because as a Christian, you know, you're taught to help people and be kind, and they're easy pickings,
Right.
is what I'm saying. A lot
Right.
of them.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, and this is something I always say, is that when you are truly like a good person, you actually don't really believe that other people could be as manipulative and as cunning and as conning as they are.
Yeah.
You really don't believe that people can be that way because you just can't see it, you know, because you yourself don't have that capacity. And there really are truly really good, decent people out there who really, and that's where they become so gullible.
Yeah.
And these people prey on that. And then you need, you know, feisty, you know, people like me who don't mind, you know, saying, hey, hold on a second. You really need to take a time and step back and look at really who this individual is, you know, and what their motivation is in their actions at the end of the day, you know, like, you know, I simply want to educate people and try to bring people awareness, especially around topics around health and obviously mental health, you know, and how, especially how in social media, it's people are so, there's so much misinformation out there and people are very misled by a lot of hucksters and charlatans and you know, with a quick fix message. And, you know, it's just terrible. When you work in healthcare and you see it, and it's like they want to talk about big pharma, but they don't ever want to talk about big wellness and all the stuff that they shill, you know?
Oh, absolutely. It's
It's terrible. All right. Well, we're going to hear it. I'm going to give you the last word, Cheekbones, and then I'm going to finish it out. Like, say goodbye. I
just want to thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for listening. Pat, good to see you. Catherine, she's gone, but I want to say hi to her. Patsy was in here, but yeah, I really appreciate it. I know kind of got away from the Chantal thing, but I think your message was so good and positive to people to expose the dangers of living like she does.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I know a lot of people have wanted me to return. So I think I might slowly, bring my way back in. I just always wanted, because I felt like when I really started talking about her health, and not that people don't talk about her health a lot, but I felt it really got accelerated at that time. And like everybody was talking about every aspect of her health,
Yeah.
And I felt like everybody was, and a lot of people weren't qualified necessarily to speak about it. And I heard some and I was like, I felt like I was adding fuel to the fire in some ways,
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just a cycle that happened to be, in the, I just happened to come in. It was cycling to talk about her health because it's kind of cycles with her,
Yeah.
But I feel like people talk about her health, but not quite the same like it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Is that me, or am I just,
Well, it's just part of the cycle. People
I
get
think
tired
it is.
of it, and then her health arcs have waned. She's not doing the health arcs like she used to.
Maybe that's what it is, because her health is so bad. I don't think she can, because it calls too much question into her actual health.
Yeah.
And
so she's not doing that same, oh, I'm going to get better, I'm going to do better, and then she's kind of not doing that anymore. So the health talk kind of has waned.
I think so, because I think she was doing a little bit more walking, and she was trying to do the apps and trying to do some things that purported to the fact that she cared about her health, which she doesn't. She does not care.
Yeah.
I don't even know if a heart attack would have her care.
Yeah.
I don't know what event Chantal could go through that would have that wake-up call for her.
I think sadly it's going to be an event she can't recover from and will need long-term care.
And, and sometimes, unfortunately, these events may be things that she can't recover from.
Yeah.
And I don't know I think she feels invincible still. So anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Cheekbones. We are going to have to get together, since I know you're free for the summer. And I am actually going to be cutting after this week down to just working 4 days a week. So I can try to prepare for my clinicals. They're not happening.
Well, God bless you, girl.
I need to find a preceptor. So if anybody is a mental health NP and wants to have me as their in the Virginia Beach area, I'm looking for a preceptor.
Do you not have I know as a dietitian, we have a website, and because I did some precepting before, and you could put yourself down as a preceptor. Do y'all not have that?
There is with the Virginia. There's the Virginia Nurse Practitioners. Like there's or association. So I just need to join the association. But I'm running out of time, and I've got to get moving on this. I really am. I'm running.
Go do some stalking.
The clock is ticking, and I am I have like a month. I think I have like a month to find a preceptor now. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I really do not. And I can't get another leave of absence this year from college. So I have got to get something done. And I am getting worried. And I have just been working so much and then trying to still maintain the channel. So I have got to. And then this week they were like, well, you don't have to work Friday. We can get somebody else. And I was like, I've got a bill I have to pay. I've got to work Friday. I can promise you what I make in YouTube in a month, I can make in about a day working.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So that's why sometimes, that's why I laugh with all these people. You're making all these money off of these people. What are you talking about? I wouldn't even make my car payment. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I doubt you're rolling in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ever since I started this YouTube channel, I have to tell you guys, that my wealth has increased enormously, and now I'm getting ready to buy a small island. I'm just so wealthy from the YouTube, sniping all of this content from Chantel is just, just makes us all us reaction channels just rolling in cash. I mean, I'm just so rich from YouTube.
Yeah, to me, it ain't worth the trouble. So, but I appreciate you.
Well, that's why it's a fun hobby, and
Yeah.
I get to hang out with people like you and have fun,
Yeah.
You can't, and that's, I think, where you start to see the desperation in some of these creators who rely on it financially.
Yeah.
I can come out here and kick out and have fun. I didn't want someone taking my channel away because I would never then have another channel, which I think is a shame, to have one honest health voice out here in YouTube.
Yeah. That's the truth.
I mean, in the respect that I don't have anybody sponsor, I'm just literally a medical professional, and yet I get accused. Some guy actually said to me, and I know I'm trying to finish out. Some guy actually said to me in my comment section, one of Tim's fans, that how could I protect the medical profession on my video? Because the medical profession is so bad, and Tim's such a hero. Because he literally called himself Dr. Tim. Because he knows so much about health.
Lord, I might have to drink wine if we do something on here. I ain't gonna tell you.
You're gonna have to get something to calm the nerves to listen to Tim.
Is that those kind of people just?
Oh yeah, he thinks people who have college education are pea-brained, but he's Dr. Tim because he knows because he watched a YouTube video. How dare we question him? Yeah, he's one of those. He's one of those. All right, guys, you have all been fantastic. All my moderators, Angel of Glass. We got Sammy. We've had Catherine. We've got Pat's back on. She says she can tolerate with some Tim, but not all of it. And we will be circling back around to Chantel's cheekbones. Thank you so much. We've been here for over 3 hours just shooting the breeze.
Yes. Well, thank you very much.
And it's been great. My allergies are sounding horrible. So I'm just rough sounding. It must have been all those people stirring up the dirt in that house I was working in today.
Well, keep it up. I pray for you. And
yes, everybody wish me a preceptor because I have got to get this weekend. I've got to buckle down. It's like I can no longer be a Chantel and procrastinate on this.
Quit sealing and get a preceptor.
I need to quit sealing, and I literally have to just say, okay, I just have to buckle down and do all this stuff that I need to do. It's not like when I used to be at nursing school and they just gave you preceptors. I didn't have to do any work,
Yeah.
But now in this NP world, you have to do work stuff. I mean, I remember having one of my nursing buddies calling me because I had a friend who was an NP. We're not in the area that I need to be in, so it doesn't help me. And she's like, do you know if I literally had somebody I worked with calling me to see if I could hook them up with somebody to do a preceptor? That's how it goes. It's sad.
Yeah, I understand.
It's not easy. And of course, I don't work in a facility like I used to, so I don't run into these people anymore. So there's I don't know any of them. So I used to work with them all the time, but I don't know any of them. So, wish me luck. I got to get that done. Maybe I should set up a TikTok looking for somebody.
Lord.
I wonder how that would work out.
I don't know either.
Anyway, all right, guys, you've all been awesome. You can tell I'm starting to get tired because I'm starting to sound stupid. Maybe that's what Chantel's excuse to be. I'm not making any sense. All right, cheekbones. It's been a pleasure. All right, guys. Good night.
Good night.